am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get your sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Jamaica's Reggae Boys will battle old rivals Trinidad and Tobago's Soca Warriors in 2 friendly internationals this month. First battle is on Saturday, March 11 at the Catherine Hall Sports Complex in Montego Bay starting at 6 p.m.
Then they meet again on Tuesday, March 14 at the office in Kingston starting at 7 p.m.
Grandstand $3,000, bleachers $1,000, VVIP in Mabay $4,000. Come witness head coach Hamir HALLGRIMSSON's first assignments on local soil with the Reggae Boys, sponsored by
Hey, good morning. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am Manningsman. It's always my pleasure to be with you to do this program, especially after the weekend. For those of you who are regulars on the channel, you would know that I was not around yesterday any at all. Lots of work, I have other duties that some of you may know that goes beyond just being on YouTube putting out content, and so sometimes those things require a whole lot high demand. So I'm normally up until wee hours of the morning, so normally staying a little bit later to get the work done. But lots of respect to you. It's always good to have you on the platform. It's good to be here with you. Hope you're doing well. And I mean, if you don't have all things together, you have life. And if you have life, you have to give thanks for that life. Let me know if you're hearing me clearly and loudly, or I need to turn up the volume. You understand me? Because we can always adjust the volume so you can hear clearly. All right, so let me know how the volume is and we can adjust that. Again, thank you. You're alive. So give thanks and look to the hills from whence cometh your help. Your help comes from the Lord. He made the heavens and the earth. He will not suffer your foot to be moved. And he who keeps you, he never ever slumbers and he never ever sleep. I'm so grateful to be alive today, to have breath in my lungs. You understand me? And I hope you're feeling the same way. All right? So, just to let you know, for those of you who have kids in the States, right, the trials will be this weekend I'm supposed to be there, so I'm supposed to be traveling to be there after this game. One of the days, I don't know, see if I can find some ticket to get there. But I will be up there just to see some of the youngsters, my own self, with my own eyes. So I'm going to go up and be there, see what is happening. It is this Saturday and Sunday. All right. It begins at 10 in the morning on the Saturday and on the Sunday, but it would be good for you to get there at 9:30. It will be at in Port St. Lucie. Walk-ins are also available. It will be in Port St. Lucie, all right, at Mako Academy. All right. You can still register. It is not late, and even if you don't register, they will allow walk-ins. Remember, there's no cost associated with this, so you don't have to pay any money whatsoever. All right, so please know that. So this Saturday you will see man there. So if you're there, you can come and hail me. You understand me? I will be there Saturday and Sunday, because I just want to make sure that I have good grounds when the team is selected to say, well, what about this player? What are those about this player? I will also try to get you some coverage of what is happening, if it is permitted. First, I need to know that it is permitted, because it is just trial. And if I can, I'll give you some footage, probably talk to a couple of the parents and stuff like that. All right. Richie Richards is asking if there's going to be one up in New York. Yes, there's supposed to be one being arranged in Long Island? I think it is in Long Island. It's going to be some point this year. All right, arrangements are being made. I think Mr. Rudolph Speed is working with some of the former reggae boys to make that happen. So it should be there. And there is a gentleman, his name is Huntley Swaby. If you watch the World Cup coverage that I did, he was on it. And so he is and should be helping with that. So welcome to all of you on the platform. Sure Improvement, Chris Wright, South Cry, one control the whole of the South Coast, Richie Richards, Float Management, Mark Chambers, Owen, and every other person watching. Even if you have not yet made a comment, good to have you. All right. Also want to let you know that, Sheridan, a little more clarity on. I thought it was the same. Yeah, it is the same location. It is the same location, sir. Sheridan. It's in Port St. Lucie. Big up Dre anyways. Same location as the under 17. Same place. Mako Academy. That's an academy that actually managed by or run by Freddie Butler. So that's where it's going to be. It is in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Lulu up and running. I think Lulu is one of the parents who is going to have his son out there as well. It is the same location. Boris Johnson, you need to get the flyer, man, and send it to all of those people, right? Because remember, I don't have their number stored in my thing to send it out there, right? Yeah, same Sheridan. So looking forward to seeing you. Looking forward to seeing some good talent seeking to represent the island Jamaica. One Jamaica, we say, wherever we are Jamaicans. I'll tell you this, when I'm not here on local soil, but I mean, I don't know, there's a thing that you just know that there's a Jamaican there. You just hear something, you see something, and you know. All right? So, blessed love for that. All right? Man, I must say, listen, you know that somewhere inside of me, I have there's a part of me, you know, that of all the teams outside of Arsenal in the EPL. Liverpool, most of you know that I started out as a kid as a Liverpool fan, and then I moved away to Arsenal. And I was so disappointed because I think Liverpool could have been in 4th place. Right, Star Boys. I'll know you don't. Star Boy, I from start the channel, you know, Star Boys, I say you go send a super chat, you know. And you say, management, you go add up it, you know. Star Boys, a whole heap of super chat and super sticker, you know. You need to drop some in the thing today so I can buy some more ticket. You understand me? Buy some more tickets, right? So I used to have the candy jersey, right? Because I had a relative who would bring the Liverpool candy jersey, the Ian Rush jersey. The Ian Rush, right? I think Bruce Gobler was the goalkeeper. So back in those times, right? I used to love Liverpool, all right? I don't know. Grew up. So I can't believe like Bournemouth defeated them, because I think like they were on a run to get that for. But it is football. I still think they're going to have a lot to say in terms. Big up Dave. That's how it is, bro. Ian Campbell, bless up people. Ian Campbell is one of the generals in the business. You know, he really does a lot of work. At the present moment, listen, there are some. You may even see more new faces when it gets to Jamaica versus. Well, let me say, I'm not sure if they'll make it for the Mexico game. Don't think so, but I mean, working assiduously to get lots more players at least ready in terms of their citizenship and passport, so the coach can have them ready for the Gold Cup. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to put some things in some perspective, vantage point, and everyone has different views, and so I've had my own conversations, just have my own personal conversations, and it is from that position I'm going to speak today. I want you to be involved in the discussion as well. So I'm going to lay out some things. Big up to my Liverpool fans. Cavaliers also won in the JPL last night. Mount Pleasant didn't play. All right. So Star Boys, you see the number, the 373 number. Just text me on that and say, man, this is Star Boys, and we can probably do some Zell thing. But we're gonna get some more tickets for the game tomorrow. To give away. I know Dre want to get some tickets for some persons as well, so we're going to do that, people. And we want to encourage you, go out and support the team, win, lose or draw, right? All right, win, lose or draw. Let's go out. Julian. One thing, big up all the Trinis in the building. People, the Trinis, I hope they can take Banter, you know. You see, from this, all my friends from Trinidad, you know, them text me, they come in the comment section, you know, and there's a lot of bantering they're giving us, you know, because they won the game by a goal to nil. Kudos to them. Big up Coach Angus Eve. Did you all know that Angus Eve was one of my favorite players when he represented Trinidad? Not only Angus Eve, but also Stern John. I prefer them more than Dwight York, you know, because these guys, and they had this tall goalkeeper named Ince was his name. Yeah, the keeper is here. He'll be keeping Andrew 55. Ince was his name. Right, Ince. So those are you. Well, you know what, Jamaicans always love Russell Latapi and Leon St. Louis because they played here in Jamaica. But those three were the three favorites of mine. All right. The number is running at the banner below. Jason, you can give Starboys the number for me. Clayton Ince. There you go, Marlon. Clayton Ince. Right? People, you see what the man saying, asking how much save the Trinidad goalkeeper made. Julian Budram, you and Oran Hernandez. Before the game, the people them give me a hard time because they beat Jamaica, you know. You understand me? But those are my favorite player, right? We love Leon St. Louis and Russell Latapi because they played at Port Morant. But for me personally, those three were my favorite because they always give us a warm time. All right, the rivalry is intense, you know. It's like 25-25. Yeah, Hudson Charles was good as well until they won and they went to 26. But do you know that the last time we played Trinidad in Montego Bay, they also defeated us by a goal to nil. All right, so it's good. We love this. We love the rivalry. But we hope when we win in Trinidad, you understand me, we can take the Jamaican banter in, you know. Because Jamaican can banter, you know, Julian Budram. So remember that, you know. So big up all the Trinis in the stuff. But we have to get into the meat of the matter. As usual, if you desire to, you can call in to the program, right? You know the number. It's right there. Jason, you can type it in. Fresh God or one of our top moderators. He's not here yet. Hold on a sec, people. I don't see him yet, right? Yeah, Kenwin Jones, yeah, because Kenwin Jones played with Ricardo Fuller as well. So big up to the Trinis though, because I always believe that when Trinidad and Jamaica are good in the Caribbean, it is good for Caribbean football. And it is one of the reasons, right? It is one of the reasons why I want to see the Caribbean. See, people tell her that Oran Hernandez was going to turn up, see him turn up. The Trinis are going to, people in it. Let me give you them, you know. One is Oran Hernandez, the other one is Budrab. They are from Trinidad. And before the game, they are going to banter us, you know. And you have to allow them too. But make sure, you know, Trini, when we win, you know, wanna turn up, you know. You understand me? But yeah, definitely. Definitely, all right? Cataract. And Cataract, listen, Cataract, at some point today, you need to come on in, Cataract, because you are the man. Uncharted Media Production, just send a message to the 373-644 number. That's it. That's a number for the channel. And then at the end of the show, I will reach out to you, or one of our producers will reach out to you. All right, 373. It's right there. 373-6449. And just say this is so and so and so. All right. So, all right. But there's a big picture that we must not lose sight. We must not lose sight of. All right, big picture. All right. Trinidad playing a new team. Don't worry yourself. No excuses. No excuses. Yeah, please remember the name, right? Oran Hernandez, see a call. Oh, the calls are coming in already. I don't even get to one of my points yet, but let me just take this call because we have to give. Yeah. Welcome to the show, caller. Good morning. This is I Am Sure Sports and Mannings, man.
Yeah, man. Greetings, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, what say you? Good morning.
Good morning, yeah. Since you're such a learned scholar, when it comes on
Jesus.
to the game. No, seriously.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you say, I always come on and say, I'm older than you guys, you know. When I play the game, them used to call me the utility guy because I could play anywhere on the field. And so because of that, this is what I want you to explain, because I think I'm of the opinion that we overhype the CDM position, because I believe that when I was playing the game, a good center half or a good central defender, which I played both positions, could play, center half and could alternate in the CDM role.
Yeah.
And I feel that Jamaica, our current team, has a wealth of center half, right? And we could easily convert one of them into a CDM if necessary. And if you remember, Damian Lowe did pretty well in the Serbia game. So I hear every time that Jamaica don't win a game or we don't perform so well, I hear people talking about CDM. I don't want to harp on Cataract because I know he's not here to defend himself. But he's one of them who always talk about the CDM. And I don't know if it's because his cousin, was in the team as a CDM who did a good job, that him hype that position so much. But I am of the opinion that we overhype the position. So I will come off of the line and let you explain if you think it's a position that is overhyped. Because even when Paul Hall had the team, I think Paul Hall really didn't play with a CDM. So I don't think I think we hype that position too much. What say you on this matter?
All right.
I can come off and listen.
All right then. Yeah. I mean, okay, because I see a next call coming in.
If you want me to stay, I can stay on.
I see a next call coming in. So let me take the call.
Yeah, man. All right.
And then man. But let me answer in the meantime. Yeah. So very good point by our caller Peter. Very good call by point by our caller Peter. Let me just take this call and then I will welcome to I am sure sports caller. You have to turn off you're listening to the audio, so hello?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hello?
welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Trinidad in the house. How you doing?
Well, you know what? Given what happened on the weekend, you know we are in recovery mode. So how are you doing, Mr. Trinidad and Tobago?
Yeah, we doing first of all, respect to Jamaica and the vibes, the relationship we have. We always respect Jamaica in everything. We love dancehall and we know they love soca. It's soca time, so respect. With regards to the game, first of all, we left and we came down there and you all behaved like you all were sure you all were going to win. And I true that.
You know that was one particular person though. A lot of like for me, I remember I gave out the stats that the games between Jamaica and Trinidad have always been close. But there was one fella called Cataract who was talking about 7, and Angus Eve was listening to the whole talk, and some of the players from Trinidad. So I think they were not happy about that. Yeah, but we did expect we did expect Jamaica to win, but we thought it would have been a very difficult game because there were 8 players playing for the first time. It was a fairly young team. And this is I am sure sports. I am sure that Jamaica will win the second game, but it will be close. But go ahead. But that was the feeling in good banter.
Yeah, and we knew that feeling, but more so, like on the Jamaican news, you all wrote the article that Trinidad football is in its worst state ever, right? I think it was on the Gleaner or X News. You remember that?
No, the Star, not the X News. Yeah, it was there. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So it was. Coming into the game, we felt a lot of disrespect, like we did in the game against the United States in 2017. And, like, people need to remember, Trinidadians, we love to party. We party more than Jamaicans. And, I I think sometimes Jamaican people don't understand that, but respect to all, but we party more than all because party push our economy. And even when the guy from like Angus, he spoke about it in his interview.
That's a fella. They call him the oligarch. He calls himself. They have a group, ultras. They are the ultra fans of Jamaica, and he did say that 7. And though we were trying to get him to change, he insisted that Jamaica was going to win by 7, and he would be disappointed if we only won by 4.
So and like their Caribbean countries, we like Trinidad would play, and we expect to win by 7, and if we win by 4, we'll be disappointed. But Jamaica is not one of those countries, and recently, like Jamaica talking about us in a way and disrespecting we. Trinidad have the most Caribbean titles. Period. And we didn't just win it just by that. Trinidad now getting back on its, top leg. We now just restarted the Trinidad and Tobago Premier League.
Yeah. I need to ask you a question about the league, though, when you're finished making your point.
But this is the thing, like Trinidad Premier League, we used to call it PFL back in the day. We were one of the first Caribbean countries to have a professional football league, and that was a lot of people talk about Jack Warner, but look at Qatar, how successful Qatar was. Jack Warner invests a lot in the Caribbean and work for the Caribbean to make the Caribbean a better footballing zone. You understand? A lot of people never really appreciate that in you. And one of the things, like, you know what Jack Warner said, he said, looking back on Qatar, people say it was one of the best World Cup of all time. He said he
True.
did what he needed to do. And when we look back on like Trinidad like the Trinidad Premier League back in the day, or PFL as we call it, like it paved so many ways for Jamaican players, Antiguan players, people from the Caribbean. So it's good. Point I'm making is this: we grow, and we can't forget the people who bring we up. Jamaica and Trinidad, we have a good relationship, especially in sports, cricket, football, everything. I used to play squash, and people probably don't know Jamaica, Guyana, Trinidad had a real strong relationship in squash too.
Yeah.
The point is, we need to grow and learn from each other. You know what I mean? And like Jamaica Premier League, Trinidad Premier League, I would love one day to see like a strong Caribbean Premier League, where we even help some of the other islands. You know what I mean? If you think about it, if we had a Caribbean Premier League, right, where you have Montego Bay FC, Kingston FC, Port of Spain FC, San Fernando, like, think about how much better that league could have been. You know what I mean? So, point I'm just making is, like, that game yesterday go to show what heart, right? Deep heart. When you have heart, what heart could do. And we have a lot of heart in the Caribbean, and we could do, just like we do great in cricket, we could do great in football.
Excellent point, caller, because it is what we have been pushing. So, we have had several trainees on the program just talking about that whole idea, because there's a lot of working together, and a lot of it is banter, just for the fun of it, because that Anton Carneal runs a A-license course, right, where the Jamaicans do it as well. So the point is that there is a connection, there is a collaboration between Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, which is what we want. And I believe, like I said, that if these two nations are doing well, Haiti is doing well, it is good for Caribbean football. And so I like the banter. But I want to ask you a question, because I was watching the league. I watched the game between Police and Jabole. I think the name is, because yeah, right. The surface though, I think they were playing at the Velodrome. Yes, yeah. The surface. For me, maybe I had a wrong impression, but I always thought that Trinidad and Tobago, out of that Youth World Cup that they had way better facilities than those in Jamaica. That surface yesterday didn't look the best. Can you talk about that a little bit and give us some perspective?
Absolutely. So, Jamaica depends a lot on tourism, and Jamaica recovery from COVID in many ways. In terms of coming back from it, because remember, you all need the tourists to come. Jamaica have like 4 million plus tourists coming now. Yeah, Trinidad have maybe like 100 to 200,000. So, put that in perspective. Point is, like, even our football, right? And get this, if Trinidad shut down Carnival, where's football? You know what I mean? And we shut down Carnival up to 2022. Things only just coming back into play. And Arriba Velodrome was more so a cycling facility. It looked in place. We in terms of Arriba Velodrome is in the eastern part of Trinidad. So the stadium we would have used for football there was Larry Gomes, which was one of the stadiums built for the under-17 World Cup, as you were saying, the Youth World Cup, and our facilities. Remember, those facilities were built in 2001. Those facilities are now 22 years old, being 2023. And in terms of, just like with Jamaica, sometimes we have issues with maintenance of facilities. And that's one thing, again, in the Caribbean, we need to do better. And yeah, that's one of the problems we had. So we can't really, getting back to your question, we can't really judge the surfaces in Trinidad based on Arima Velodrome. Arima Velodrome was more so a cycling place. Larry Goons, which is like 5 minutes drive away, 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, it's more so the football stadium. So we would never bring Jamaica to play on a surface like we saw yesterday.
Okay, okay. All right, wonderful. But listen, congratulations. The bigger picture for Trinidad, though, is that you have 2 games coming up in the Nations League. You have lost to Nicaragua. You need to beat them to possibly qualify for I think to move up to Pool B. We are in Pool A, Jamaica. We have Mexico coming up, and if we beat Mexico in Mexico, we advance to the semifinals of the Nations League. I mean, how do you see that happening? I mean, I don't know how many of these players will make that team for the Nicaragua game, because you have like Kevin Molino and all of these other guys. You have the Fortune sons or brothers as well, and other players who are playing outside of Trinidad now. I mean, are these games good preparation, and do you think you have it in you to beat Nicaragua and I think Barbados?
The first game is against Bahamas in
Bahamas,
Bahamas.
sorry, yes.
Yeah, and that's on the Friday, the 24th. The second game is against Nicaragua in Tobago, on Monday, the 27th. Now, again, Jamaica, Trinidad, you all are like our best friends, and we thank you all for these games, like these 2 games, especially the game, being able to and again, no disrespect, being able to beat a Jamaica team that is, we know what you all have been doing over the years, and you all have been preparing better than us, and respect a lot of what you're all doing. So to go to Jamaica and beat you all really help us, and in future we hope we can help you all too, not by giving you all a victory, but going in to the game against Bahamas, definitely. A lot of these players who were on the team, they played really well. I would like to see them incorporated into the Bahamas team, but we have the Garcia brothers, we have other we have big players coming in, and as you say, we hope to hit Bahamas 7 for the least 4. As
Be careful. The last man who said his national team would drop 7, his national team got 1-0. So be careful what you say. No, you understand me?
Yeah, so
I think you should be very modest in your
also,
prediction.
but I think we could definitely score at least 2-3 against Bahamas in Bahamas. And when we meet Nicaragua in Tobago, Tobago always show support for the team. As you all know, Dwight York is from Tobago, and he was our captain at the World Cup. So we look forward to a lot of support in Tobago, and we definitely believe we could beat Nicaragua by more than 1 goal, and again cement the Caribbean vibes at Gold Cup 2020.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the call, man. I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. I will be there. So you know when it is finished, whatever the score is, we hope to hear from you. But the last time, we have an extremist saying that the last time TNT played Bahamas, it was 0-0 in World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, well, we had and here what tell that training they need to know what was going on in the camp. We had a coach named Terry Fenwick who didn't have support of the players, and nobody wanted to play for him. And actually, before that game, they had to fly from Trinidad to Miami, and when they reached in Miami, they didn't even have a shuttle to take care of them to the hotel and stuff like that. The vibes in the camp was not good. And thank God we got rid of Terry Fenwick, and we have a son of the soil in Angus Eve. Angus Eve always believed in Trinidad. He always give Trinidad his best. Terry Fenwick respected him, but guess what? In a way, it was an opportunity for him, and he didn't take advantage of it. Trinidad is Trinidad, and we have a pride in we football, as we showed when we played Jamaica in Montego Bay, and we all like it. This is not about somebody coming to represent the country and Terry Fenwick carry a Trinidad team to Florida. You know, who was there? He didn't prepare us properly. We get 7, right? So, you know, the blood and the love for football in Jamaica and Trinidad in the Caribbean. You know, we love sports. We love cricket, we love football, and it runs deep. And we need to, you know, if we do appreciate we own, other people are not going to appreciate it. So, you know, we need to love. You know, I hear, and no mean to overtalk my time, but you see all these people who want to support Chelsea and Man U and Liverpool and spend all the money going there. Guess what? Spend your money on your national team. Spend your money to come back, support Jamaica. Spend your money to come back and support Trinidad, because that's where we from. And that's where we had to build our own self. Like the young people, just like all of we come American, if we go here, there, and right? Have young people in our country, and we had to let we put our money and invest our time and love in them, as opposed to investing in these big rich clubs. One love.
One love. All right, blessings, man. All right. I think we're going to have some more Trini calling in and talking about what happened. Cataract, you're being called out. Yeah, but just to put some perspective on it, thanks for all the comment, right? Comments that are coming in. Please, all right, if you have not yet hit the subscribe button, go ahead and do so. Also, make sure that you like the video, right? Make sure you like the video if you have not done so yet. Hit the like button, all right? Make sure you hit the like button, all right? Lots more information to come up on the show. What are the plans for the World Cup? Oh, I was just getting a message to ask the caller, but he's not. He's no longer on the line. All right, so let me give you some perspective. Jamaica lost the game. Congrats to Trinidad and Tobago. All right, but let's put things into perspective. The vantage point. All right, bam. Number one, I'm going to give you 10 things that you need to know. All right, in terms of vantage point. Think about it from the coach's perspective. One of the first objectives that the coach HALLGRIMSSON outlined was that he was going to look at as many players as possible over the next 4 games, because he believed that he will be able to assemble a good enough squad to challenge for the Gold Cup title. In fact, he wants to win the Gold Cup and go to the Nations League finals, right? So he said the players, most of the players that you see in game 1 and game 2, they will not be in the squad for the Mexico game. And then those who play in the Mexico game, they will not be seen in the game that we play against Guatemala. So we need to keep calm, right? Because the coach did make it clear what his objective is. That does not mean that we needed to win the game. We made too many technical mistakes on the field, poor passes, poor controlling, and that has nothing to do with the overall objective. It just goes to show that the players, maybe it's a surface, can't blame the surface really, can't use that excuse. And here is why we can't use that excuse: because Trinidad also played on the same surface, and technically their players did better than the Jamaican players for most part in the game, and kudos to them. So did the coach achieve objective number 1? Yes, he did. Why did he achieve it? Because we saw the amount of players who never played for Jamaica, young players. If you look at the age of the Jamaican squad, with the exception of Kemar Foster, Sule McCullough, Mariappa, and Ravel, the rest of the players are young players. King is young, Atkinson is young, Trevante Stewart is young, Lembe Kisa is young, Splat is young, Omari is young, Harvey is young. All of these players are 20, 23, Colin Anderson, like 23, 24 and under. We use even a 17-year-old teenager in the time. Yeah, man, the game against Guatemala is on for April 15 at the New York Red Bull Stadium. All right? So that was number one, to look at players. Why? Why? Because the coach, like I said, which would be reason number two, because he wants to select the best possible squad to win the Gold Cup. Meaning, is there a one or a two player from this camp that could possibly make the Gold Cup team, right? That's the coach's plan. So the vision is still in process and can be fulfilled. All right. What was one of the other objectives? Number three, giving players from abroad or the diaspora an opportunity to represent Jamaica, because some of these players could possibly think about representing other nations. Omar Hutchinson, no. This is his second game for Jamaica. Splat played his first game. We know that Casanova came to get his documentation sorted out. Dujan Whisper Richard is the next one that, listen, he actually played for Jamaica, which means that, right, he is able, right, he's able to, he played for Jamaica. That's good. They said that he could play for other nations as well if he wasn't. So at least he has a cap for Jamaica. All right? So when you look at those things, you realize that it wasn't a bad objective. It wasn't it wasn't a good result, but the result wasn't devastating. It doesn't take away from Dexter. Right? Debut for Dexter Lembikisa as well. The result is not what we would want, but people, the objective was still accomplished. All right? The coach also spoke about the necessity that as we look for the Jamaican players who are playing outside of Jamaica, that we develop local talent. And one of the key things that Angus Eve said in his interview that he did, he spoke about the fact that Trinidad and Tobago are always developing players at home. All right, domestic players. So let me talk about the domestic players. The domestic players were able to get an opportunity to be around the coach and play. All right? And so that's good because they're learning, they are growing. All right? And that's important information. Right? Do you hear me? Right? So developing the local players, that's important, because like I said, Angus Eve spoke about how Trinidad developed players. But let me just say this to people. I believe in terms of player development, if I were to look at the amount of Jamaicans, youngsters coming out of our high school competition that have gone overseas in probably the last 5 years, I don't know what the numbers are, but I believe in terms of Caribbean nations, we have the most. All right, you can go from Kaheem Paris, Tyreek McGee, Norman Campbell, Duncan McKenzie, Peter McGregor, who was over there, got injured, Ronaldo Biggs, Kenroy Campbell recently. Did I say Tyreek Zemini's, who recently went away? We just heard about Saquon Satchel. We hear about Dujan Whisper Richards. Just out of memory, that's like already 10 players that have left local soil. Local soil. Krista J. Daly, that have gone into Europe. I'm not talking about those who have gone into like USL and stuff. I'm talking about those. Pearson is in the US. I'm talking about those who are in Europe. All of these players have gone into Europe, and some of them never even played for the national team before they left. Boza as well. So many Jamaican players and more that I may be not remembering at the time. So I must say that there is some work being done, at least to get players outside of Jamaica. And I think at that we have been doing. Akwasa Chung, thank you, Alex. Ronaldo Cephas, wow. And a lot of these players are making mark. Bowser is making a mark where he was before and now where he's at. Kaheem Paris, Cephas, Kenroy Campbell, a lot of these players. Norman Campbell doing well as well. A lot of these players are making significant move. We just heard that Kumi is Dre Anyweather break the news that Nicholas Hamilton is actually going to Finland on a 2-week stint, right? I wouldn't put Leon Bailey in it because Leon Bailey never really, I wouldn't say that Leon Bailey developed in Jamaica. I'm talking about players who came through the Jamaican system, and some of them left having had, like I said, no national playing time, including Cephas. So we have to say that in terms of the development. So when Angus said that, boy, Trinidad has always been developing players, I just want him to know that we have evidence that players are being developed. And there's a starting 11 of Jamaican born players, because I know one of the things he was alluding to is that Trinidad don't have as broad a base to select players from. All right? And he was talking about all the players and that they were all local. Of course we have a broader base, but we have loads of players as well that are from Jamaica, born in Jamaica, who are not here. So we should not lose sight of that. And so both programs at this stage are at two different places. And so we must not, like I said, we must not lose sight of that. Jamaica should not, and Sir Eve, my general I call you, should not lose sight of that. All right? So that's number 3. All right? The coach also spoke about the necessity of rebuilding the fan base behind the team and the importance of fan support. And one of the reasons why he wanted to play these games before they go off to Mexico is to rebuild the connection between the local fan base and the team. And so having this game provided that opportunity. 3/4 full Catherine Hall Stadium. Good thing for the federation. Now I don't know how much tickets were sold and how many tickets were given away. I know that good attendance, right? And not just the attendance, just the vibe around the team and the coverage that they got. All of that means that there is a rebuilding of the fan base, which is going to be very important going forward. Was that accomplished? And it's not only the local fan base, but remember, it was also part of the plan when we played Argentina and we saw the amount of persons, right? The amount of persons that watched that game. Mark you some of the Jamaicans that went in Messi t-shirts or Messi jerseys, but they were there to support their Jamaican team and also to watch the best baller in our generation, Lionel Messi. All right, so that was also accomplished. So that's like 5 of the major objectives that were accomplished. One of the other things, number 6, is this. Right? You're getting them, people? Number 6 is one of the issues that we had in the last campaign was the disorganization leading up to almost every single game in the World Cup campaign. Tapa suffered from it. Coach Theodore Whitmore suffered from it. Paul Hall suffered from it. All right? it was a problem. So here is what. These games also provided the opportunity for the staff, the administrative staff at the JFF, the coaching staff and team manager, the PR team and the players to begin to put systems in place so that when the real thing begins, we have had several test runs. There are many glitches in this game, many glitches that I will not I will not discuss. Being responsible, I will not discuss it here. And some of the errors that were made at Catherine Hall will not be made for the Kingston game. Imagine if it were an official game, right? And some of these things happened. So it's a good thing that we have these things so we can have a test run. We have a couple of games of what systems need to be in place and implemented so that we can get the best results when we play. Because we have the proper systems in place, like training, accommodation, interviews, all of these things. All of these things. Yeah, we'll possibly have a new goalkeeper to be looked at for this game, right? Yeah, I heard that Andre Blake. Listen, I hope he's doing well. I heard from my just to interject. Remember, I'm at number 6, right? I'm going to give you the rest. I have all of them written down, so I will not forget them. You understand me? I'm like that. I take a lot of notes before I come on the show. Sometimes we don't get through all of it, but yeah. All right. So let me say it this way. Andre Blake. Hope he is doing better. No, he had a head injury in the last game. Sir Blake, wishing you all the best. We pray for your good health. We pray for a speedy recovery. We pray that there's no, major issues coming out of this immediately or in the long term. And if you are well, let us know because we are concerned about you. Right? And I know maybe I've had some challenges with the fan base, but we are really concerned about your health because your health is important to us. You have been a standout in the Jamaican system. All right? But we have ample time to get him ready for the game. All right? I also have one more Trini here with me. He has come on live and in living colors. I don't know what he has really done now. He has just cancelled. This is not cancel culture, but he has cancelled Cataract's appearance on the show because I know Cataract dare not come on.
Cataract is a fan of Jamaican football. So Cataract is fine.
Yeah.
Are you hearing any man?
No, I'm not hearing any echo right now.
Okay.
All right, so talk to me. How was it for you? You were very moderate in your expectations and your prediction. I don't think you expected Trinidad to win. I think you were very surprised that they probably won the game. So talk to us.
Well, I wouldn't say I was surprised because if we could determine the results of the game, then it doesn't need to be played, right? So.
Oh, they are saying that they're hearing an echo, Andre.
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo. I don't know where it's coming from.
All right, you want to sign out and sign back in?
Yeah, let me do that.
Yeah. All right, so the echo should be gone now. Let me see. Yeah, there is an echo. Let me see if I can sort that out. Can somebody locate Cataract for me? Let me do it this way.
All right. Is it gone?
Yeah, I am not hearing it. So people in the comment section tell me, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's gone now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arsenal forever, Flavor Max. Thank you. Come on, people. We still have not seen 10 tickets yet. We need to see some tickets. Some of you, yeah. All right, go ahead, Andre.
Yeah. So, if we know the results of the game, then the game doesn't have to be played, right? So the game must be played because it could go in any direction. But I think about football from a long-term perspective, and not just from a short-term perspective. So the result of the game is the result. I'm happy that Trinidad and Tobago, that we won the game, but I'm cautious that in the long run we don't lose the battle, because sometimes you learn from losing, and winning could cause you to cover up the blemishes that might exist, and hopefully that does not happen, and we could go on, and because the important games for us is the games coming up on the 24th and the 27th. That has a lot, that's going to dictate a lot of what happens to us in the future. So I don't look at football from a fan perspective. I look at football a little bit differently. One of the things I'd like to bring up, though, for you, is I remember I was on some time before. I don't know if you could remember, and I don't want to call anybody's name, but there was a conversation about the importance of having good fields. I don't know if you remember that conversation.
Yes.
And the contention was that for me, it's a must. That's my personal opinion. That's what I've seen around the world, and I think it's a must. But on that day, there was some, conversations about, having a good coach, and if you have a good coach, then a good field is not really a necessity, right? You remember that conversation?
I remember it very well.
Right. And now you have a good coach, and you're complaining about fields. But I'm a little bit surprised and disappointed that in the Caribbean we still talking about bad playing surfaces.
Well, you heard the person from Trinidad talking about the field that was used for the
and we tend to make excuses.
Yeah.
We tend to make excuses a lot of time, and the person certainly wouldn't accept any critique from me because I'm overseas, right? So
well, I think he's overseas as well.
Well,
I think, yeah.
Well, I don't know, but a lot of times they don't accept critique from people overseas. It's treated in a different way than if you're on the ground, because you don't understand what's taking place because you're not there, which often isn't true sometimes. But I'm a little bit surprised that we are still talking about the quality of pitches in the Caribbean, and we're not doing what it takes to make sure that we have the very best surfaces.
Hold on, Andre. Caller? Well, we have a call.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, man. Who we talking to?
Talking to Twilly, Canada.
Twinny?
Twilly. Twilly.
Oh, Twilly.
Yes, sir.
Well, I love your profile picture, Twilly. What is that? Okra planting, ackee and saltfish and fried dumpling.
Say that again.
I see fried dumpling, planting,
yes.
Okra.
Yes.
It look like, and ackee and saltfish.
Yes, sir.
All right, wonderful. I also have Andre here from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, Andre. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, boss man. How you doing?
Yeah, calling from Canada here, and just like to say, boy, congratulations to the Trinidad team, but we're gonna get you back on Tuesday.
well, we already have one in the bag, so we are safe. We are safe. It's up to you now. It's up to you now to make sure it doesn't end up 2-0.
We can't let it go with our two, man. We gotta keep it balanced.
Well, we're gonna see. We are 3 hours away from it.
Yes, sir. Mornings, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, I want to buy some ticket, but I don't know to do this catch up and this online thing, yeah, man. But more contribute to some ticket, you know.
Okay, all right. You want me to, when the show is finished, I can reach out to you to see how, if you don't see how I can help you to do
Artist.
that. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you really bring back the energy in the football, and we really appreciate it, you know, because we never did get no coverage, nothing from the football in Jamaica, and from the YouTuber, them take on the thing, yeah, boy. It's a joy, you know.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, man. All right. So
I mean,
take
give
care.
thanks,
Listen.
man.
Yeah, man. Take care on the road.
Yeah.
We are going. I will call you
Yeah.
once the show is finished, and then we can make arrangements. Help some person. But please take care on the road, you know. Be safe, you know. And please don't eat so much of them food there, you know. You understand me?
Yeah, man. I understand that, man.
All right, Willie. Thanks for the call. Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right.
Management is the federation, the Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation, getting some of that revenue.
The Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
From what?
From ticket sales and
from the ticket sales. I don't know. You know. I don't know.
I hope so.
I don't know. I guess it depends on what, like the expense. For example, what if let's see, like what if, I don't know what part of the expense the Jamaican Federation covers. You
I hope
understand
they negotiated something, because we now made the 2-game tie worth looking at, right?
Yeah.
Because we came in and we won a game that somebody thought we'd lose 7-0. And so now the second tie is looking kind of healthy.
Okay.
I hope there's some sharing of the revenue taking place.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be I'm not sure. Dre's asking, a grandstand ticket is for 3,000 Jamaican dollars. I think that's what the grandstand tickets are for, right? Somebody can confirm that with me. But I think that is what they're for.
Is that about 20 years?
Yeah, but if you do, when they do these things through YouTube, because they take out of it, it actually works out to be less. That's why some persons prefer using like Zelle and those things.
Okay.
But yeah, man. But that should, yeah. All right. Yeah, we can't find cataract. Don't worry about it. Jason saying that the Gensec, when he was on, said that we were operating at a deficit. So he doesn't. So he says he would doubt that there is any sort of revenue sharing coming out of this, but maybe covering all the expenses that they incur. I don't know.
So that's a deficit on this particular event.
Like I said, I am not sure. I am not sure how it works, but it's a conversation we can have after the game.
Yeah.
You know, can always bring him on, and then the Gensec, and then you can probably ask those questions. But let me just get to number 7 on my list, Andre, because one of the important thing was just to check out the marketing and sponsorship. One, marketing the team, marketing the Reggae Boys again, and seeking sponsorship, which out of these games, the JFF was able to negotiate with new sponsors. So those are 7 of the key objectives that they had set out, that the coach had discussed, the Gensec had discussed, and that has worked. So somebody's asking what is a YouTube withdrawal fee. I think it's a total of 40%, you know. It's a lot they take out, you know, including taxes and all of those things.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Before it get to you. Yeah.
I'm in the USA, Devon.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, are there any players from Trinidad? I mean, how many of these players? How many of these players are going to be in the team
It's a good question because when you listen to the sentiments of the last caller,
Yeah.
he noted that the coach is a son of the soil, which is a good thing, but he probably would prefer the team being a local team. So it's a difficult one for me to try to answer. I think we should always be trying to pick the best team because the implications, what people I think don't get is that when the national team is not doing well, a good national team, a good performing national team, a successful national team could potentially fund the entire pyramid of football. Right. So when we start to get caught up in local and foreign and that kind of stuff, it makes it difficult for the team to be successful. Any country should be trying to pick the best team possible so they can have success. And the success of the national team affects, there are players out there that might have in the contract, if they play in the club contract, if they play in an Olympic qualifier game, that they probably would get a bonus. That's probably exists in some kids' contract. And if your country is not going to the World Cup, then that's a significant amount of revenue that a player could lose because your country is not doing well. So it's just I don't think sometimes people grasp the entire, football is an industry and one thing leads into the next. And if we are not doing well as countries in the region, we are affecting the youths considerably. So the idea is, in my mind, is to work together to improve the football. We were just talking about the grounds. Why do we not have the best surfaces that we could possibly have in football? I watched the game that you pointed out, right? And I also watched some football out of Barbados as well over the weekend, right? And they have turf and they have nice fields, and I think it make a better picture for marketing as you're discussing. So I just wish that we can see the big picture and not just look at it as local versus foreign,
Yeah. Yep. I see here Neil saying, what does TNT victory mean for the continued rivalry of football in Trinidad? Is the media there covering the game? What is the reception to the victory like?
Well, the unfortunate thing in Trinidad at the moment is that, like you guys have done with this platform, you've taken this platform and you've gradually brought fans back to the game. I think when I look at the game, a lot of people showed up, but there's not a lot of conversation about the game, about the national team. Sometimes you think that the players don't know the national team players, except for those who are playing on the island. So I'm not so sure that this particular victory means a whole lot. Historically, something big has to be happening for people to jump on board. So maybe we come first in the group group stage of the Nations League. Maybe we start have some better games or some bigger name games. Let's put it that way. Not that Jamaica is not a big name. That's not what I'm saying. But people respond to institutions, right? They think in terms of big countries, America and whoever the case may be. So maybe later down the road it might mean something. I'm not so sure what it means right now, because I've spoken to people who have not looked at the game. I've spoken to some who didn't know the game was happening. So
what?
And as
they're
you know,
in Trinidad?
Yeah, and as you know, we've been trying to have a conversation about World Cup 2026 via this platform, and the response has been, it's been slow. I don't think people is really paying attention, except for if it's something that they think can be controversial, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. I think football is not big in, somebody just said football is not big in Trinidad. And then this one says, I agree with you. We never put in long-term plans. I think this person is Pimp the 478 is from Trinidad. He says, we always have to have something big for big business and people to come on board. And right, so this is, he's saying that, and he's speaking specifically to Trinidad, because I think Pimp the 478 is from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, I think we can do a better job than that. We can also ask for help sometimes, like some of the other islands are doing. We have we have talent, but talent is all around the world as well, right? Everybody has talent. There's talent in Jamaica, in Trinidad, in America. There's talent all around. What
Yeah.
you do with that talent is determines what happens. And
You know, I have a big question because one of the players that stood out to me in the school league that you just had was Sweeney. I think
uh
his name is. He played for Jabale. He
Jablate,
Jabate.
yeah, I saw
Yeah.
him last night. Yeah.
He wasn't in. How come he's not in the national team as a young player?
Well, I mean, look, the national team he's 16 years old. He's a good talent, and he played schoolboy football. He played in the under 17, and the national team. You can't take everybody at the same time, so I'm sure his turn will come. I'm sure his turn would come. If he was my kid, for example, I'd be trying to see if I can get him out of the country somewhere to go
Yeah.
Somewhere. That's what I would be doing with him, trying to see if I could get him into a football environment because he's 16, see if we can take the talent that he have and take it to the next level. So I wouldn't be too concerned about the senior national team at that age, if
I
he
asked
was
that
in a
because we just played a 17-year-old in Dujan Whisper Richards.
that's a different situation. And some people might argue it's was it some people might argue against it, some will be for it. But that's a different situation. He scored 31 goals in schoolboy football, right? We don't have anybody that did that. So you look at a kid with that talent and you have to think the sky's the limit. He also just signed a contract, I understand, with Chelsea Football Club. So that's a totally different situation, I think.
Okay. I mean, what is the average? You know what the average age? Because some of the names that are here in the Trinidad squad have been around for a while. It doesn't mean that they're old. Because the Jamaican team, we had several like players coming through from the under 20. I think around 5 or so of them are players who came through from our under 20, our under 20 squad. I mean, I don't how I mean the team that's here. How many of them are youth players?
I think I know of two that is. Look, the coach have a job to do, and he's coming out of a difficult situation where there was no football being played, so he has to pick the players that can best help him get results. Right? It's a result-oriented game, so I think Jamaica has the luxury for the coach to take this opportunity to look at younger players. I'm sure the Trinidad coach would be thinking about he has to win these games. He probably is on a shorter term contract and probably need to work to secure a longer term contract. So the situations are different, and so I don't think he has the luxury of just bringing in a lot of youth players. I think he could integrate one or two, but he has to have players that can help him win the next football match.
Yeah. And there's Aldine Holmes saying that the game was not even advertised on TV or radio stations here in Trinidad. Whoa.
Yeah,
That's very strange.
I look every day. I don't think I've seen that.
It wasn't on the TNT FA site though. Don't they have because they have an operative social media site. But somebody else is saying that not even the TNT FA advertised the game. Is that true?
It's a lot of times in the past what you have seen the national team game come in and you don't see an advertisement until it's late, and it's like I don't know that I've seen one. I haven't seen one. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. But when something is being advertised, it's hard to miss it, right? For the game that's coming up, it's a opportunity to raise some revenue. The team needs the support because the game needs to be won, and I think they should be driving it home. Today's the 13th, so that game is in maybe 11 days or something like that.
Oh, okay, all right. We have Chris is here. He calls himself. I don't even want to tell what him. And we have Dre. who is here. But Chris, go ahead and make your point, and then we'll have Dre come on and share his thoughts.
From earlier, the call out from Trinidad, but you don't really want you want counter point because
You can go ahead, man.
because he was saying that we need forever a league, a Caribbean Premier League, which I don't think would be a great idea because Trinidad and Jamaica them that develop them own league and feed them own time. Cultivate a culture which they don't know how our football in club culture stay already. Not much support is there for it. So I think everybody is Dominica, Anguilla and them place them need them have to do that on them own time. We can't sacrifice our football development for them. If you understand what I say. And
yeah.
to Mr. Angus Eve now and in statement, but in Trinidad developing players all the time. Yeah, develop players, but how much of them in Europe? How much of them in MLS or USL? And we are talking about local man we develop on the island. Jamaica have way more. So that statement they kind of have me of like, where you try to say we only run to England and America.
I can't. I don't, like I said, Angus Eve original statement, he was just talking about, he basically said, listen, which is true. He said that we don't have as broad a base as Jamaica to go all over the place. So we have to develop local talent. And I think that is true. But I don't think because Jamaica goes overseas to find the Jamaicans overseas mean that local players are not being developed. I think both things are happening at the same time, which is what you want. All right. But somebody said the game was advertised in Trinidad and Tobago, and I think that's 195.5. All right, Dre, what say you? Welcome to the show. See you moving.
Yeah, big up everybody. Blessed day to everybody. Chat and panel. Mr. Trini, big up yourself. Chris, big up yourself.
Yeah,
Mannings.
Yes.
So I noticed Mr. Eve been taking some shots even before the last game in a Montego Bay. So you see, because Trinidad got this win now, those sentiments have become even louder. Not only amongst him but and the coaching staff, but also amongst the Trini massive, because there's a Caribbean rivalry. So now in Kingston come the return leg, not leg, but the return match tomorrow. We're gonna have to take it a lot more serious and make sure we come away with not only a victory, but one of those statement victories. So I believe that there is, although the coach may not agree or accept it, there's some added pressure to the coach and the Reggae Boys to make sure they get that victory in Kingston at the National Stadium in front of the massive. I believe we're going to have a big crowd too, bigger than expected.
All right. I am anticipating it's a 30,000 seater stadium, 30,000, 35. I don't think we'll have so much, but I am anticipating somewhere in the 20,000 region. I just think we're going to get some good support for this game. More so for just seeing the players and just supporting the program, which I think it is important. It's very important.
My name's
Yes.
Speaking of which, support and all that. People, I'm going to be giving away a ticket later on to the grandstand. 1 ticket for the grandstand or 2 bleachers ticket. Which one you think the people that will support more or appreciate more? 1 grandstand or 2 bleachers? What do you say, Mannings?
Man. Drop a grandstand later for them, Dre. People, if you want to win a grandstand ticket, you have to check Dre Anywhere's a Sport later. Listen, you're covered. Well, there will be no rain, so it don't matter. But less herbal tonics from the smoke to affect you over that. But yeah, definitely
6 p.m. later, my life.
6 p.m. Andre Anywhere Sports, right? What do you think, people? One grandstand, because we're gonna give away a lot of bleachers ticket, So yeah, so one grandstand. I think we had somebody at the gate just giving away tickets. So we're gonna tell you tomorrow what gate you need to go to, and then you can pick up your ticket and just go into the game. You understand me? Lots of tickets we're gonna give away. We want the stadium to full enough. That's why it's a 7 p.m. game, so persons can just go and support the team. All right, go and support. Yeah, it's a night game. Flavor Max says a nice game, so he's saying 2 bleachers. Flavor Max, the man saying want to give a grandstand ticket, man. Love him, man, a Flavor Max, man. Actually, the man is a Chelsea man and you're a gunner. Flavor Max, ciao, man.
But my name is Amos. Check your WhatsApp afterwards, guys. You have to under the purchasing and the funds and all that. All right.
Yeah, man. All right, then, Dre. Some people are saying that the more the better. So send in one person, but covered is good for whomever. Right. So they're saying that instead of sending one, send 2.
All right. So two bleachers ticket. Look more 6 p.m. Joy Anywhere That Sports. That no cost for your time, then, right, man?
No, man. Do your thing, man. What you talking about, man?
All right. Quick show. 30-minute show tops, man. All right, people. Big up for yourself.
Yeah, man.
My name is Big Up Yourself, please.
All right, then, Dre. Bless up. All right. Hello, Carla. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, big up man, man.
This is the man who was having a lots of problem the last time.
Yeah, yo, trust me. Like about 12 times I call you, man.
Yo, I don't know what happened. Finally, you are here. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, man, and big up the panelists. And the reason why I try to call last week, because I don't remember his name, but he was like saying, "Oh, Whisper already" and stuff like that. I wonder if today Whisper is ready, considering he signed a pre-contract with Chelsea. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't say a player at 17 not ready, and then because he hasn't played professional football, and then he want to say, I think the guy from Cavalier, I don't want to call his name, but that we're not having a professional league in Jamaica, so you can't say, okay, you have to play professionally first. So I had a problem with that, because I think when we have gems like Whisper, we need to make sure that these guys get proper like taken care of well, in terms of bringing them in the national program slowly. Because I think this Costa Rica had this 17-year-old, I think he was 18 at the time. He went to the World Cup. And I mean, people probably in Costa Rica say, "Oh, why?" Yes, he probably was playing at a club, but our thing is different. We have schoolboy academy in Jamaica, basically. So what we have to just work with what we have.
Yeah, but let me say this, Carla, right? I think given his form, it is good that the coach gave him a call. He signed with Chelsea. Congratulations. I don't think signing with Chelsea means that he's ready for the Premier League, though.
Well, that's true.
All right. So here's the other thing. Being called up to the national team doesn't mean that he's ready for international football. Let me just explain to you what I mean. I believe he has a lot of development to do. So when I say a player is ready, right, I would say, would I put Mikel Antonio on the bench and start Whisper in the Mexico game? I wouldn't do that, because I think he has some development to do. Could he play? He could. Could he score a goal? Yes. But that doesn't mean he is fully developed for the international level, right? But he can play, because anybody can play.
All right.
But you may not. I'm going to give you an example. And we have tried this on many occasions. There was a player called Giovanni James who played for Jamaica, and I think he scored on debut. Brilliant goal. And nothing is wrong with that. But he wasn't fully developed. However, he could get a game. All right?
True.
So you want to understand me? So what I believe.
No, I understand.
Yeah. So what I'm when I speak about readiness, I'm saying that is the player mature enough to lead the team at this level. That is my thing. And I'll say right now, he's not, because if he were, he would go directly like into Chelsea's first team. All right.
All right. Which
But
I understand that,
yeah,
man. And by no means, I'm saying that Whisper should be a staple or somebody who he has to start and stuff like that. The
yeah.
thing is, it's all about development. When the major development for Whisper is in the squad training with professional players. It's almost like you're on the bench. All of those experience,
Yeah,
all of
man,
those
no, man.
experiences valuable,
You and I agree on that, because
All
you know
right.
that. But the other thing though is that, do you know that many of us, including me, we have said on these platforms that the national team is not for development. Have you ever heard that online on
I've
these
heard that
platforms?
many a
All
time.
right. Do you agree that the national team is not for development?
In some sense, I agree. But when we have gems, Jamaica is a population of how much footballer do we have? We don't have dime a dozen. We don't have a Brazilian kind of culture. So when we have the gems, I think what we need to do. I'm not saying that they can just be a part of the team. You know what confidence it give. I mean, when I was younger, when I used Barry Watson was my coach, and when Barry Watson invite me to train with the big, it gave me so much confidence that when I went down to the youth level, I was playing much better.
But
But
you
you
see,
know
there's
what?
a
That was
difference with what I'll say this. So
Mhm.
listen. So playing football for me, I want you to hear me. I wasn't big, but I was very good. So I was able to play. For example, I played at under 12. Like when I was 12, I was playing U16 at 12 years old, and I wasn't big. When I was like 15, I was playing adult football as a
Mhm.
youngster. All right, I could play, though I was way ahead of the other 15 year olds. I wasn't ready for big man football, though I played
Mhm.
with them because I had a lot of development.
Okay.
So for me, that is what I
True.
say with Whisper. Whisper is miles ahead of his age group.
Right.
But now, when I say ready at the international level, I am going to compare him with the forwards who are in
True.
the Raul Jimenez. Because when you say he's ready for international football, you have to now begin to match him up with the Raul Jimenez of Mexico, the Mikel Antonio. And then when you go there, you realize that there's a gap between where they are at and he's at, but he's on the right path. So maybe that's not what the person meant, but I just tell you how I
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But he's miles ahead of his age group, miles ahead. And I still believe it was right for him to have the opportunity. All I'm saying is, though, I would not put the work of leading the team,
No. Yeah. We wouldn't do that. Wouldn't do that.
which is saying that he's not ready yet for that
Right.
kind of
But
role.
you
But
see, but
he's a gem.
true.
Yeah.
But and to segue into my final point, and it's all about, and it whisper too. I think the marketing, those who are marketing the JFF need to, like, when you're making knife, you got to strike the iron when it's hot. I think whisper, like, I'm not in Jamaica, so I don't
Yeah.
know how the promotion is going on, and I must give the vloggers, you and all of those persons who have been pushing and telling the people to come out and to watch the game. I don't know how with JFF is kind of pushing, but I think with Whisper and Omar Hutchinson, I think the 1998 campaign, I mean, I know it's different, but we used to, it's almost like it was in
All right.
our face. The games in that National Stadium come, like, we need to get the people back on board.
Yeah, man. But what I'm saying, all right. So let's look at Omari Hutchinson. So you have here. Remember now, when we get to the national level, it's a different group of people we're comparing the ballers with. Like I said, all right. Omari Hutchinson said that he has a lot. They asked him about Whisper. I don't think the vloggers, well, not the vlogger, the reporter should have really. That's just me. I think certain questions the reporters asked were not appropriate. That's just management. So he asked him about Whisper after a Jamaica game and about the whole Chelsea situation, right? He said that Whisper needs a lot of development. He has a lot to work on and stuff like that. So, in that context, is Omari Hutchinson, having played for Chelsea, ahead of Whisper? Because remember now, Omari Hutchinson is going to compete with Leon Bailey and possibly
Jamal
Damari Gray, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Lowe, Bobby Reed, right? So remember, you're probably going to select 4 in a 23-man squad, right? And that is the issue we're going to have, right? You have Jamal Lowe, Bobby Reed, Leon Bailey, Kaheem Paris, Demarai Gray, and you still have even Cephas, who people are saying is not ready. So,
and even Campbell, I think this guy from JC who is in some, I don't remember which country is that, Campbell.
People are saying that Cephas not ready for the national team, though he's scoring goals where he's at. So if Amari, who has played for Chelsea, is saying that Whisper need to develop, if somebody else says that Whisper is a very good player, he's better than most of them, but he needs to develop. I don't know why people take it so hard.
No, nothing is wrong with that. But no, the point I'm making, like the last point I'm making, not about Whisper development. I'm just saying we have a game against Trinidad, in the national stadium. I think it would be good to mark. I don't know how because you guys are marketing the game very well. I don't know how JFF is marketing to the other person who really don't watch vloggers. Like, in the street, hey, we have a game against Trinidad.
Okay.
I mean, it's a big rivalry. And I mean, I don't know who is in the management, like the promotional part of the thing in JFF, because I think this would be good even for promoting the game with a Whisper. He just signed for Chelsea. I mean, you want to probably, the next time you probably see him, he's probably playing football for Chelsea in November or stuff like that. So it would be good for them to kind of promote the game. But I must give you guys like 100% in terms of pushing the game and really being on spot. So, but I have to go. Big up yourself, big up the guests. And as you say, we have to, this game against Trinidad, it has to be a statement win. We can't win 1-0. Trinidad need to get all 5. Sorry.
Geez. Be careful, sir. The Trinidad are listening again. I don't want.
Yeah, no,
Jamaican,
but no, we
listen,
can't beat the 1-0 again.
The people are sending this stuff to Angus, Eve, and Steve, and say to rile them up, Hear what the Jamaicans saying, so be careful, you understand? All right.
All right. Bless up. Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. So people, listen. We have to be fair in our breakdown of things, because there was before Dujan got into the national team, and management, I don't even like to talk about this. I'm not going to stay long. I'm going to invite my guest to speak after this. Many of us, including management, was saying that no player, none at all, no player. Most people were saying that players should not be called up to the national team for development. If they're not developed, they should not be in there. And there were other persons who were saying, no, there are exceptional talent out there that can be called in. So that is why we cannot be so conclusive in some of the stuff that we say. Because here it is that we are saying that Whisper needs to be around the team so he can further develop. All right? Remember a few seasons ago when people were saying Dwayne Atkinson should be around the team when he had a standout schoolboy season for development. Many people were saying that a schoolboy football him a play, him not even forget call up, him not ready yet, and club for develop him. So we have to have a standard that don't separate some from the other. That's all I'm saying. Let's keep it balanced. You never know. You may have a next player who surpasses Whisper at age 15 and accomplish way more than he did. I'm going to give you a good example. There's a player that I really, really like in Jamaica. I watch him in schoolboy football. He doesn't get a lot of recognition. People don't talk about him a lot. And maybe he will not go any further. Right? Who is the player? I think he's an exceptional player. The player named Kyle Miles, from he's at Campion College. I think he's an exceptional player at like 14, 15. There you go. Somebody just said it, right? And I think He took Campion College team of under 16, right? At under 16, he took them to so many things and won even something for Campion, right? Now, if he continues to grow like this at 16, right? Do we say he should be around the national team for development? So we just need to be mindful of how we set the standards, that we don't use it selectively because we have a favorite. But nothing is wrong with it. But we cannot then get upset when other people are called to play in the same system. Somebody that people keep asking about Kaylee Avery, that he's only 18. I think that's his name. Talk to us about him, Andre, because you know more about him.
There's not much to say, man. This man, he just came into the team, and obviously, he's a talent, and he's played his first game, and we just need to see what the future holds. I think, I remember when Phil Foden, as a senior player at Manchester City, and the head coach wasn't playing him, and everybody was suggesting he should be playing. But the coach is there in training every day, and he obviously know what he's doing, and he put him into the team at the right time, and it's all been successful since then. And sometimes we just, when it comes to young players, as somebody who have two kids that play and work with young players, sometimes it's not good for the player, for all the noise surrounding the player. Sometimes we just need to leave the player, because development is not a straight line. It doesn't go from where you are to the top of the game just like that. There's peaks and valleys involved, right? And what the player would need is a support structure to help him or her deal with the difficult times, and provide right guidance when things are good, so that things are taken into context. So there's not much to say about that situation. As the first international, and for me, I like to deal with consistency.
Is he born in Trinidad?
As far as I know, he wasn't. I hear a lot of different
born
things.
in France.
He's born in France.
Right.
Okay.
And he was playing for St. Martin's, and I think he was at the club system in France for a little bit.
And he played for the US. He played for the US.
He came to the US at some point in time, yes, and he's playing for St. Martin. So we just got to wait and see. We just got to wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Chris Simis, I hope that answers your question. So there's a lot of youngsters, right? I mean, you have the player from Rangers who they were saying should play under 17. He's starting for Rangers. Should he be called up to the national team? And then remember, every time you call up one of these players, also remember that somebody has to be dropped. So we must also look at that. That calling up one player, meaning you drop one player. So how could I forget his name? The Jamaican that plays for Rangers.
Lovelace.
All right, so Lovelace plays forward. You have Shamar Nicholson, Mikel Antonio. Now you have Dujan Whisper Richards. You have Kemar Roof. I may be missing out some, right?
Bobby Reed sometime too.
Well, Bobby Reed don't play. I'm talking about the central striker. Maybe Jamal Lowe even more so. We try getting,
Gray.
people have mentioned like
Gray.
Gray's a winger, so I'm not even using
Not
them.
Damar Gray. Andre Gray. See the level about the ball.
All right. So should we also have Lovelace in the team now and drop one of the forwards that we have so that he can develop? And that is sometimes a discussion that we have to have. what works, what doesn't work, and what is the best. It's a very, very difficult thing for a coach to do, development and winning. Because at the end of the day, if you have all young players to develop and you're not getting the results, as a coach, you're going to lose your job. And then the next coach going to benefit from you having lost games in developing players and look like a genius when you, as a coach, look like a loser. So that, yeah, you understand me? This one says, let's stop using the word youngster. Santos was called to Brazil squad as a youngster. It's the level at which you are at. Andre Santos. All right, I think CC miss a trick right there. Yeah, Kyle Miles is a very articulate and skillful player. Let's get our development plans for the grassroots in place. Get the best coaches in the grassroots. Omar Fowling. All right. So here's what I'm saying. If we are saying that Whisper needs to be, that's all I'm saying, in the national team to help with his development, which is right, then we must also, when we see other talent, give them the opportunity to be around the national team to develop as well. We can't make it just for one player and dismiss the others. That's all I'm saying. All right. Carlene Watson, welcome to the show. Please don't type up Whisper too much. Look how America do to Pulisic. That's a good point. Oh, the player was born in France. Lovelace is 16. He have a lot of time. He doesn't have a lot of time. One is 16, one is 17.
But that I think, man. But that I think, man, is man. One probably play youth football while one is already starting for first team.
Oh, this one says, man, is I hear people saying first team Chelsea wingers Sterling, Mudryk, Pulisic, Ziyech. Yeah, let's see. Here's the thing. You see, when you go up, you realize you're at the levels. I believe in the player. Wish him all the best, and maybe he will break through. And there's a player called Nkuku that has been signed as well, and they still have Lukaku out. Ian says, I think Lovelace has a higher ceiling than Richards. Okay. Senior team is that's what I'm asking, Karumi. The people are saying that the players need to be around the senior team for development. So I don't know. How does it work in Trinidad, Andre? Do youngsters get the opportunity to come in at an early age?
I would. This is a topic, man. That is a very yes. The answer is yes. Youngsters do get the opportunity to come in
Let's
an
go
early
back
age.
to Leon St. Louis and Russell Latapi. Those guys played very young for Trinidad, and Dwight York.
I mean, players do get the opportunity to come in at an early age. I mean, I think my youngest son got the opportunity at 17, so that does happen, right, to play for the senior team. So the question becomes is why is the player getting the opportunity? Why is the player getting the opportunity? What type of space is the player in? And does the player deserve that? So and I think that's for all national teams. That's the way it is.
Yeah, it must be very difficult, right? Because a coach is in a position where one, he is expected to like you said, expose youngsters and give them playing time, right? But at the same time, his job is at stake if he loses. And sometimes, no matter how good the youngsters are, listen, I have seen teams, good Jamaican teams, go to places like Honduras and struggle, Mexico and struggle. When it comes down to international football, you need quality, experienced players. When it comes down to World Cup campaign, for me, it's a completely different kettle of fish. Different kettle of fish. And you need experience. You need your players like your Ravel Morrison. You need your Andre Blake. We can't just, and USA suffered from that. USA suffered because if you remember the team that didn't qualify for the World Cup in 2017, the 2018 World Cup, it was a team that ended up qualifying for the 2022. So unless we are willing to say, get rid of everybody who is over a certain age and start working with all youngsters and just make up our minds that we are going to not qualify for 2026, and hopefully the players come good for 2030. And will the fans accept that? Welcome to the
Yeah, my
show,
name's man.
Mr. Arsenal himself.
Yes, man.
What you thought about that first
Forever.
half
Not,
performance, man? 11 games to go.
oh my
Demo.
God.
Hold on. Demo. Do you still believe that Arsenal is going to falter? Only 11 games, Demo. Only 11
and I,
games,
Stop it,
and
man,
Demo.
I,
man. Stop it,
I think
man,
90
man.
points, 90 points is enough to take us over the line. No, I
Talk to
also
me.
want to say to Bimo and the other people that our prolific striker got injured when we were 5 points ahead, and he's back, and we're still 5 points ahead.
Hold on.
And they talk about depth.
Hold on. Sorry to cut you. Our cube is saying to me that the 2017 team that Trinidad and Tobago drew with and they never qualified for the World Cup is a completely different team from the team that qualified. Are you serious? Go and check the squad. Go and check the squad. Check the two squad and see how many players were in both teams. Come on, man. Don't do that, man. Don't do that, man. All right, go ahead, Favor Max.
Yes, I was just outlining some of the things that they would have said are cause that they think wouldn't the reason why they don't think Arsenal will win the league. No, we have debunked all of those things. They talk about depth. When you look at the players that we brought in January, the last game that player break history, 3 assists in the first half. So I don't think they're talking about depth anymore because, as I said, our striker is back. He left us 5 points ahead, and we are still 5 points ahead with him being back. We have won a lot of games with Party out, so I don't think that is a issue anymore. So I want to know what they're going to say now. As I said, 90 points is enough for City to get more than 90 points. They would have to win every single game from here on in, and that is not going to happen. They're still waiting on that run. I'm still waiting too. But tell you what, that's not going to happen. Ironically, at this point last season, 27 games in, City was 66 points after 27 games. Tell you what, man, we're also 66 points right now after 27 games. Exact points. And if that's anything to go by, well, your guess is best good as mine. Now, to touch on Whisper a little bit, man, I kind of a little bit differ from you in some slightly different. I think based on the talent pool, because Jamaica don't have a plethora of talent at our disposal, man. And based on what we have, we are not judging him based on standards out there, different teams. We're judging him on Jamaica standard. He is good enough to play for Jamaica at this point, man. Now, hypothetically speaking, let's say Jamaica has a policy where at least one man in schoolboy football standout should be a part of the national team. I think that player would have to be Whisper. Don't you think?
That I think sometimes we have different conversations, though. Like nobody is saying that Whisper should not be given an opportunity to play. I don't. Who is saying that? Because that is not the discussion.
No. I think we are saying he's not good enough at this level.
Who said that?
No, well, some people say he's not good enough, but I think he's good enough to play at international level for Jamaica.
No, man. Nobody don't say that. Whisper is not good enough.
So what? All right, tell me.
The caller who called in spoke about people were saying that Whisper is not. He was complaining about people saying that he's not ready.
Yeah.
All right. So I said that. I know what I was saying is that him not being ready for the international level does not mean he cannot play. What that readiness means is that he is not fully developed. When you compare, watch me, at the international level, when you begin to match him up with the players, but he's leaps and bounds above the players at his age group. That is what the conversation is. He is above the players at his age group, but when you begin now to match him up with Raul Jimenez, you begin to match him up with you begin to match him up with Mikel Antonio. It's a different.
But here's where I have a problem.
That's
where I have a problem on this, man. We shouldn't. Why are we matching him up with proven?
But that is the point, though. That
world class player
are
playing in the biggest league in the world. We shouldn't be doing that.
But listen, why you have to do that, because when you get to the international level, that's what you do now. We can't compare him with. We cannot compare him with the JPL.
Carla, if
he's not going to start.
No, but
he don't have to be ready enough to start.
No, all right, but you are just saying. There you go. But you just said what the people are saying, that he's not ready enough to start. That is what the people are saying.
I don't think they're saying he's not ready enough to start, because there have to be continuity. So what are we going to do? Leave him out of the squad, let those players play till the 30 whole heap, and then automatically bring them in? No, we have to inject him.
All right. So Carla, listen. All right. When the caller called in, let me go back over it slowly.
Yes.
The caller said that he was talking about the readiness. My definition of readiness is very simple. When Whisper, now that he's in the team, my definition of readiness is that you must be at the place, right? You must be at the place where you are now compared with the other players who are at that same place. I cannot bring you into the national team, and at this stage I say, listen, okay, I am going to compare you with players who are not ready to be in the national team, so you deserve it. No, I look at the player. Watch me. I look at the players who are in the national team, and I say, when I compare Whisper to Omari Hutchinson, when I compare Whisper to Bobby Reed, when I compare Whisper to Mikel Antonio, when I compare him to the Christian Pulisic playing for, because these are the players, Lozano who plays for Mexico. When I compare him with those players, he's not there yet.
We are comparing him to finished product, though, and I think it is unfair to compare him to people.
I don't think you're gonna get the.
No, man, I know. No, I understand.
Give
me a talk, man. I get what you're saying.
Go ahead.
Because if you compare him to, I can give you 5 strikers that played for us during the last World Cup qualifier, that I think Whisper would have given us a better impact than they did. And they did play. They were a part of it.
Give me some of the strikers.
It had the short youth. What's his name? It had a short youth. Javan. Yes. And then it had the one where I was around up and down the place and playing USA. And then he eventually. Good. That's 2.
Yeah.
Good. No, yes, you know them.
No, man. So
that's 2.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. That's 2 players that I think.
So watch
Whisper.
So watch this. If Whisper, you're saying that last season, because that's last year, Whisper could have been in the side over Corey Burke, and Whisper could have been in the side.
No, not last season.
But it's last.
The impact that he will give us now. If there were in the team playing for us last season.
Flavor Max. The players played last year. You are saying that based on what Whisper is doing this year, if they come into the team now, Whisper do better than them. You can't do that because they're not going to come into the team now.
Yeah, but the talent that we have now at our disposal did not go up though. That's what I'm saying. It didn't go up.
I'm not under. All right.
It's on the same
Can I
level.
say something to that caller?
Who came in to replace those two players?
Who came
or
in?
who you see out there that can replace those two players?
But those players
because they were a part of the program.
Sir, but wasn't Javan East
Management.
the program?
Management after
Yeah,
run.
but I'm saying we dropped Corberg and Javan East. Who replaced them? That's what I'm saying, management.
But
who
you're still missing. Who is saying that?
No.
But you're not listening. Every time I go and talk, you ask me a question. When I'm answering you, you stop me and then you talk. So you go ahead and talk again.
So I'm asking you a question. Who replaced them?
So can I answer you?
Yes.
Am I allowed to? Thank you very much.
Go ahead, sir.
Nobody has a problem with Whisper being in the team. Nobody has said that on the program today. So I don't know why you're discussing. Who said that on the caller didn't say that. I didn't say that. What we are saying that now that he's in the team, we need to compare him with the other players who are in their national teams.
And I get what you're saying.
And you are saying
so
that,
then
and what you are saying is that we are not supposed to compare him with other players in their national teams. We're supposed to compare him. Hold on. We're supposed to compare him with the players who cannot make the Jamaica team again. Like
if we were to compare, all right, last season, all right, good. I get what you're saying. Javan East was a part of the program for a while and Corberg. If we were to compare Javan East and Corberg to the people that you're talking about, the Jimenez and the Mikel Antonio, they would have been as far as the East from the West from the Jamaica team, you know.
But we agree with you.
If we
then who's
to do if we were to
so we agree with we agree with you. We agree with you on that.
Man's man.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Man's man.
Yes.
I'm listening to this thing all over, and some of these guys, I don't know if them really did watch ball. If I know them just watch football or what. Some of these callers, I don't know if them just watch football. But I told you already, Whisper, I am me the wear a jersey. I just hearing about Whisper. I'm start. Remember, people start. I'm start take clipping and look at Whisper. The contract where Whisper signed Friday. If Whisper was a normal talent, where Chelsea say, all right, we just are comfort and we want to sign him, they would send a scout. You notice who come with the contract? The director. The head director of Chelsea. So when you see the head director of Chelsea fly to Jamaica, reach in midnight, end up go to Phoenix training at 11 o'clock in the night, this show you something that this is not a normal talent. So if people in Jamaica don't see that, this youth, them are comparing with other players. I see some other player want to call about in Jamaica. They are raw talent. But the training what Whisper is getting, it fit the European style of play. Because if you see Whisper, he's very technical. He's a technical player. If you listen Omar Hutchinson, when they interview him, what he told you, this guy can reach very far because he have the build, he have the height, and he's fast, and he's skillful. When you see a director, the head director from Chelsea come in Jamaica, remember Chelsea looking at a lot of players all over the world, more than 100 players.
I think, listen, number one, I don't want to have the show about, let me just
No, we're not really have the show, but because the caller calling and him say, don't put Whisper with other players.
Just hold on, man, hold on. Listen, the show started out, I want to keep my focus. I just entertain this because I didn't know flavor, because I don't want to go down this. We have gone 42 minutes talking about one player. We can't spend one hour on the show talking about it. So here's the thing. Follow me. I'm going to let you finish because I want to get to your point. Because
I was trying to get
one point the call I made. So I feel like I want somebody to help me. Who do we compare him with in national football? Because that's the level he's at right now.
If you saw my text in your comment section, I don't know if you saw my text. My text is the reason why the director of Chelsea come to Jamaica for Whisper. He see the next future Chelsea Jagba. Chelsea, all over the season, Chelsea playing. Chelsea looking for a center forward. Someone who can play in the middle. Because they lose Giroud. Lukaku never was up to par every time he come back to Chelsea. You understand? Up till now, we have to use Clive Havertz into the middle when Clive Havertz always normally play on the flank. Now, he have to play in the center forward. Chelsea still looking for that, brother. But the director of Chelsea, he look at the clippings, he look at stuff before he even come to sign Whisper, because when you look at how much player he have over the world, and he tell you that, say he look at players and he see this player is more than just a talent. He's a super talent.
All right, so that means that we can look for you. All right, then. So I want to understand what you're
saying. So that is why the director don't send scout. He comes directly. Because he said, if you listen to the statement, the director said if he sends scout, it would be a shame to send scout for this talent.
We just want to get to the point.
So I was just clarifying. The point is, the youth is a super talent for Jamaica, and we have to respect that.
No, man, no. That's what I'm saying. That we're having a conversation. I don't know how we're coming to him that being a talent. Come on, man.
No. They are saying a lot of callers I always listen to the show, and a lot of people they always.
All right, Carter, listen to me now, people. It's when you call the show. Hold on, man. It's when you call the show. Maybe some other day, some people, or maybe some other platform. But today, nobody never said, like, how did we get here to Whisper not being a talent? How we end up have this discussion?
No, I'm not saying that.
We never said that. Hold on, give me a thought. The man in the pants. Let's be honest. The man in the pants some fun boy thing. Me not gonna mince my words.
No, brother.
Hey, hold on, brother. Hold on, Max. Hold on, man. You talk. You take 10,000.
Man, fanboy youth.
Yes, so I don't want to go. Wicked man, Chris. Listen, make we just end the conversation.
Yeah,
because listen, this is
a merry-go-round.
Listen.
That's true.
This conversation, I don't know how we get here. All right. So let's move on from this. Number one,
last thing before my cut, man.
Every person that have spoken today on the show acknowledge that the player is a super talent, has a grand opportunity, and we appreciate that. Right? We are talking about the national team. A caller called in and he defined the player about being ready, and he asked me a question. My simple response was, when I think about readiness, I think about a player who is ready to take, I'm talking about the national level, take a national team and carry them, right? I cannot I said Whisper is leaps and bounds above the players at his age group. So now when I'm going to compare him, I have to compare him with players who are playing at the same international level. So when I look at CONCACAF, I look at the players. He has a high ceiling. However, when you compare him with the CONCACAF players, somebody just put up Christian Pulisic, Tyler Adams, Gio Reyna, Erickson, Des, Weah, Weston McKennie. These are just the USA players. You can go to the Mexican players. The players have been playing at that level. They are ahead of him. He has the potential, right? That's all the conversation is about, that he needs development. And if we are saying, let's give him the opportunity in the national team so he can be developed, then when a next player comes through that is good, we must also give that player the opportunity in the national team to develop, if that is what we're saying. if we are saying that he needs development and we're saying let it happen, because I don't agree with it. I think his development will take place at Chelsea and not in Jamaican national team. That's all the discussion is about, you know. Nobody's talking about him not being work. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I get what you're saying, and you're correct. But as you rightfully say, I don't think him being in a national team that is his main source of development.
Yeah.
He will be developed elsewhere.
No,
So I'm
that
saying,
is from your club. Your club's supposed to develop the player. The club's supposed to develop a player.
he will be developed within the Chelsea program. But before I cut Mannings, man, I know you're a man you don't like these kind of conversations, but Mannings,
you know already.
Since Walter Boy, no Mannings, since Walter Boy, because you know it was the same hype and the same, you know, since Walter Boy, this is the first somebody has caused a conversation so loud, you know. And it's so ironic because his name is Whisper, but the conversation around him is loud.
Yeah, you know what?
So
Somebody
at
just
some
texted
point,
in. Somebody just texted in and said that he's a next vlogger. What happens sometimes we end up getting some other things said that by a next vlogger. You understand me? Unfortunately, but bless up, Flavor Max.
But big up yourself, man, this man.
Yeah, stick to
man.
Arsenal.
When Premier League talk starts, I will call back.
Yeah, man, stick to Arsenal, yeah, sir. Cause you give me problem with the talk about the other team.
All right, sir.
All right. I saw somebody calling. Yeah, man. All right. So let's end that one. There was somebody calling. Let me just call him back. Oh my Lord.
Management, before you make that call.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
After run, but I want to say that earlier on, somebody had mentioned that had questioned who does Trinidad have in Europe and in the MLS and so forth. Football goes in cycles, right? So Trinidad had its moment, and Trinidad is at a down time at the moment, and will return. The immediate problem right now is on Tuesday, just a little more than 24 hours from now.
Yeah, yes, caller. Just hold on, caller. I'll let Andre finish up. Go ahead, Andre.
So I know that Trinidad will do whatever they could do to put on a good performance, and whoever is better on that day would win. So, right now the score is 1-0.
Well, that is true. We have 90 minutes to equalize.
You are wounded. You are wounded. You're hurting a little bit, and so let's see what happens tomorrow. But I gotta run, okay?
Yeah, man. All right, Andre. Thank you for coming on and being a part of the show as usual. Bless up to everyone in Trinidad and Tobago. Real Trinidad talking about them there. All right, caller, your time. Go ahead and share your thoughts.
Oh yeah, what going on?
Yeah, man. I'm here trying to keep it calm. You understand me? Wicked man Chris and Flavor Max about to, enter into a fist fight, and we have to keep them calm. You understand me? And try to change the topic.
Mannings, man. Flavor Max will go fight himself.
Yeah, I think people are really listening to what you do. So sometimes you have to steer about the conversation. But you just call on a point of information.
Yes.
I think we have a thing.
You're going up and you're going up and down in terms of your sound. It's a little bit.
Yeah, you hear me in the background?
Yeah, you're clear right now. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I say, is this a point of information about the 2017 American strike?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell you, because I run through the squad, and I can tell you who not on the team now. Who are not on the
Yeah, man. None of the goalkeepers. You're right on that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Who are not on it? Gonzalez not on it. Bester not on it. Biafana not on it. Bradley not on it. I don't think Ariola was Ariola on it. Darlington Nagby not on it. Pulisic is on it. Altidore not on it. Bobby Wood not on it. Graham Zeus not on it. Marcus Beasley not on it. Chris Wondolowski not on it.
Yeah.
Alejandro Bedoya not on it. I think Kenny Acosta is on it. McCarthy not on it. Bozan not on it. Ream is on it. Cameron not on it. Dems not on it. Benny Pyle Hyber not on it. And Nico Mandel not on it. That was the full squad of the Trinidad in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So out of a squad about 22 players, only about 3 currently in the American squad. And now I make the point because more people understand that there was a process of regeneration and a cultural change that happened
in the US Federation. I don't think a lot of people remember, but they had a lot of the same issues that Jamaica went through in this campaign. You had people in America saying we should have a mostly MLS squad. I remember London Donovan coming out and saying, call out, I think it was Julian, and saying, boy, as far as I'm concerned, when you're born in America, you're more committed to the American. Sure, and them not forget the dual nationals to like a lot of places in the national team. I remember youth, I think he's Scandinavian and American, and after they had a roundtable discussion on ESPN, basically about out the man them were born abroad, so the US soldiers. Somebody was arrested for something, charged or something, and the youth was on social media said, are you going to blame the dual nationals for this as well? So it was fairly toxic at the time. So we can either choose to ignore the issues that we have with inherent in our football and learn from the American example and embrace our diaspora and realize we need a combination.
All right, so Carla, you don't think like there's an embracing of the diaspora?
Not fully. You embrace them, the bloggers embrace them. I think a lot of people live abroad, like myself, embrace them. I think the average Jamaican embraces them. I'm not convinced people on the Federation embrace them enough. I feel like sometimes in El Sito, the man them live abroad who used to play for Jamaica is almost like them a big their opportunity for Jamaica's football, and that cannot work. Because them have the knowledge and the resources to help push the football forward. And it feels almost like those who are in the Federation are hold tightly, very tightly to the reins, and they're not just quote unquote outsiders who are Jamaicans themselves, a lot of them born in a Jamaica. And then this is almost like we not trust them, so we don't really know where them are coming.
All right, but I will say, Carla, all right? Let's talk about this. So firstly, let us make two distinctions. We're speaking specifically to the male side of the program because we don't have these issues. Would you agree?
No, the female side is fine.
All right.
The female side is fine.
So let's say it this way. The two teams are operated by the same federation, but there are two different approaches. All right, so Carla, there's nothing that can happen in female football or male football without the Jamaica Federation.
Okay.
All right, so
in
let's
principle, I accept that.
All right, so the shift with the female team is that the coach who leads the team or the coaches who have led the team are exposed to football outside of the country, and therefore they have recruited a lot of players who are better quality than those outside of the country. Second to that is that our local female football is not strong, basically non-existent.
It's basically dormant.
So those two things drive the dialogue. All right, so let's come over on the male side. On the male side, what we have also seen is that when we have a coach who is from outside of Jamaica, there is greater inclusion of players from outside of Jamaica. So, with the same federation, what I will say is that given everything that this new coach has done and said, whatever the past was, I can't say even in the selection of this team, there was an unfairness in the selection. The coach also came out and the coach also came out and said that for the game against Mexico, we'll see a completely new team, and with possibly none of the local players. He also said the game against Guatemala will see an completely different team, which is suggesting to me that a change is happening because there is a different coach at the helm of the of the team, which is a change that you're really saying this is the change that we need.
Right. I agree. But the next part of it now is money, man. Here's the question. When we hire a local coach, I don't know what the contract stipulates or what the verbal agreement was. Is it that they really have the autonomy that maybe a foreign coach has? So for instance, you might hire me, but They're like, boy, you think you're the best man for the job, but me, I give you a shot. You think you can do it. You have to have greater control over me, because you don't have the experience in to certain boxes. You get me? I say, so even if you want to turn left and then turn right, because basically it's like, yeah, quote unquote, give me a chance to prove myself. You might still go straight, even though me don't want to go straight. Whereas a man will come, him have years of experience, he must say, yo, me not take the job unless me take the seat, unless it's my visa, and this kind of sign a contract,
Yeah.
for the this and that. You get me, sir?
I hear you, but I find that hard to accept, and let me tell you why. We played 2 games against Trinidad. I can't remember whenever Jamaica has played any game outside of a FIFA window when our national coach got players from top clubs to come and play.
Yeah, but you understand what I say, and that me I talk about now. I'm just saying, what if, for instance, the former coach, Topper, did want to do these things, but people in the federation might have say, yo, would you have shot to do this? Remember saying I have this license, remember saying I have that license.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we say go left, you have to go left. If you want to go straight, we're not in that. Whereas somebody comes now with them credentials, them come with all of what them have, and them now have more greater bargaining power.
Okay.
So
I think what we'd love to know is we would love to hear from Coach Topper about what were some of the things.
We are trying talking to from when we are trying to talk to the man, the brother. We not try to we just want some answers, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other day when we turn on, I'm see the coach on your program,
Yeah.
it's shocked.
Do you know, let me just say this, right? Do you know that Mr. Whitmore is a justice of the peace as well, which means he is supposed to be a mediator for peace. So maybe he's taking the higher road. I don't know. Yeah, that's the maybe he's saying that.
One thing more you too diplomatic.
He wants to be too diplomatic. Maybe he's trying to take the road of peace and say, let me not cause any turmoil by coming out with a whole heap of junk and stuff. Let everything run its course, and then in due process, maybe he will pen it in a book. I don't know, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I know he's not afraid to talk. He's not afraid to talk, but he's probably choosing the higher road. I don't know.
Manny, remember my call you last year, I did a name, I tell you say your name Job. A Job your name, man, and a Manny's my name.
Remember 70 of Job. But big up. No. Yeah, man, bless up.
But because I
bless up yourself.
All right, brother, take care.
All right, cool. Carlton, yeah, man. Go
yeah,
ahead,
morning.
Yeah,
Morning.
Big up your friend who just jumping out the vehicle. You understand me?
Yeah.
Football. You look like him.
Even I play basketball, man. I apprenticeship.
Oh, in support of you.
I'm a sportsman. Watch all kind of sports. Man, I'm the first Jamaican this Mr. come and foreign and forgot about football. No, I forgot about football, but watch all type of sports. You understand?
All right, cool.
Watch tennis, golf, basketball, soccer, football. For a lot of sports, watch it. Morning.
Yeah.
And me feel say Jamaica I go give a better game in a stadium because the field when me watch a match the field was so terrible down in Mobi. And I think we are gonna always say, oh, Trinidad play upon the field too, yeah, but Trinidad never really only in the first half I see Trinidad that string up some pass together. But I think Jamaica and the type of game where them would want to play. I realize them that try to use Hutchins upon to use the wing for send cross to square them in the box. But it didn't really work the way I wanted for it because the field was not really up to par. But I think, as what the coach said, the best field him see at the National Stadium so far. I think we get a better performance with the ball, a flow better. And I think the National Stadium field, I think it's bigger. The National Stadium field, I think it's wider, more bigger than are the same size.
No, man. The stadium is bigger in dimension than Catherine Hall, but not by a lot. But
Yeah,
we could also say that Trinidad will also play better.
yeah. Not saying Trinidad won't play. Yeah,
No,
Trinidad. Not
yeah, because remember you said Trinidad played better, right?
in the first half.
In the first half on a bad pitch. So
Yeah,
wouldn't it also be reasonable to believe that on a good pitch they'd probably get more passes going?
yeah, that's true. That's true. But I was watching the game, I realized that it's just like a bad luck for Jamaica because we could even with the attack what was making like the pass and the pass when I say Hutchinson trying to make. If it was National Stadium, I think we'd score a goal. We'd score a goal because some of the run the ball we play is like sometimes even with I see him try to carry one with him sideline foot and like the ball bounce and it leave back behind him. If he would really get that one in front time, I think him could have get a shot off. You understand? So in a sense, it kind of but we could see the outcome of the National Stadium with a better feel, a better surface, and the type of game where the coach wants to play. You know? Yeah. But I think Hutchinson right now can get a look in on the team going to Mexico.
Yeah, and I think that is it. The players have to use this as an audition.
Yeah.
I think if busy. Atkinson also played well. I think, so if maybe he can put in a next good performance. I know he kind of came off with an injury. Maybe that could, give him a chance to possibly be called up for that game. But wicked man, Chris. Yeah, I know. Yeah, man. Anything you want to say?
About tomorrow game.
Yeah, tomorrow's game.
Well, tomorrow game, I just look for the best. Me personally, I don't mind the three of them get a 3 love still. I not go around here. Cause the hot one love they feel away. So we can't just beat them 1 love as they call us earlier. Nah, go so.
So let me ask people, and I need somebody to tell me this. Say the team loses tomorrow, but the performance is better. Does it change your opinion of the coach?
No. It's a building process. It's a building process, so you can't change your opinion because to be a winner, you have to be a loser first, If you remember when Simonis come to Jamaica and we play the first 5 match them, remember, So it's a building process and him have 4 years for build and then he might take a look on the local players. So this is their chance to try to reach the A team. So this is like we're looking on players to see which player can even make the bench then within the A team. But the player have them chance. But I'm glad where I do because you have to keep a core player where try to get the Jamaican player them to understand your system. You understand? Because the overseas player more experienced that you can bring him in 2-3 days and talk to him. Him can fit in. But the local player you have to drill the system in them, drill it in them. Worse, the squad of player when I say we have a good set of talent. If we can keep a core and maybe add some more to it, because we still have players to look on. You understand? As what the coach says, some are gonna make it and some not gonna make it, but them still can look on in the future. You understand? Yeah. And as when say, he remember him explain to the people and him tell them, this what him doing now is maybe not for the short term, but it can be for the long term. You understand? So this squad when him call up with the younger talent, it no must for him short term because for him short term, him have to make sure say Jamaica go back to winning ways. Because you understand? So now him have these group where he maybe build it for a long term, maybe the next year or 2, couple of these players maybe dropping the A team, maybe some of them A team and maybe don't even make it. You understand? Because them are go up in an age. So you have to build a set of players where come behind them where can fit them position. You understand? So the core of youth them when have and the talent, we can add on it and him can continue build it away because as so we're gonna build, we have to start from scratch. As well as said, Trinidad do have a league start, just a start, and them start from scratch. But what them do, them keep them local playing and training, keep them together, and see the result where them get out right. We get a one love. You understand? Yeah. But I think tomorrow Jamaica go win the match. Jamaica go win the match tomorrow. I think them are going. Yeah, I think them are going to win tomorrow because them are come because it's a rival thing, you know. And you know Trinidad and Jamaica from morning, you know. And I think them are go win tomorrow because them have to come please the crowd and them realize the crowd was behind them at Mobile. So the player them know what them up against. Maybe some of them are them first international match, and some of them may be nervous because every player, you know, no matter what, you know, your first match before the week, some of them nervous, you know. Because even Dujan Whisper, when him attack, you can see like the tears in him eye, like a joy if you know say him run out in the national colors. You know, so give them the second match and see how them settling and see. Cause I think tomorrow we're going to play a better game. I just feel Jamaica to please the coach.
Yeah, I seen that you're getting a feedback from your end. Carl, so I'm gonna mute you. All right, Wicked Man Chris. I mean, let me unmute. I think you mute yourself. But there was an original question asked by Peter when he called in, and he was talking about the CDM issue, and he said that one is the CDMs overrated, and we have so many good centre backs. Why not play one of them in the CDM role? So here's what I know from my time in football. Generally, it is CDMs who move back and play centre back. You don't find a lot of centre backs who come and play CDM in terms of high quality. But a high quality CDM, as he gets older, he can go and play centre back. But rarely do you find centre backs who go and play CDM. So I don't think we have a CDM, a centre back right now, who I see as a international level CDM, right? International level. Maybe they can, play at the club level, but I think when it comes on to the international level, I don't think any of our centre backs are good enough to play there. I'm going to tell you, let me give you some example. When you look at the teams in the World Cup, when you look at some of the players that you remember the most is the number 4 from Morocco, right? You remember him because of how he played. You remember like Declan Rice for England. You remember like Thomas Partey. You remember Casemiro for Brazil. When you go through the list of players in the World Cup, you realize that the CDM, it's a high level of talent that I think it even requires more than it requires to play the centre back. Let's look at the EPL, right? Chelsea suffered because though they have some good centre backs, none of them can play CDM, and that's the year that Chelsea has suffered. Casemiro is so important to Manchester United. Rodri is important to Manchester City. Partey is important to Arsenal. Right? Liverpool suffered because the CDM position is an issue. Right? Same thing with Tottenham when they have injuries in their CDM position. So this idea, for me personally, I just think that it is too difficult at the international level to take a centre back and say, let's convert him to CDM. But you can always take a CDM and put him at centre back, in my opinion. All right? So I don't know. If you all agree. Tony Cruz, when you just go through, there are some really, really top quality
for have a center half come to see them, you have to have a very good center half like a Duran Tati Brown.
And I'm going to tell you this. Even during Tati Brown, when he tried to play there, it was not easy.
Yes.
Like I believe, for example, like Peter Cargill could go like Christopher Dawes. Christopher Dawes was a CDM who played centre back.
Mm-hmm.
You find more CDMs playing centre back than centre backs playing CDM.
CDM,
All right.
yeah.
I've Peter
So Mannings.
Yeah, your phone feeding back
So,
when I talk. I don't know why. I'm getting some feedback.
Hold on. Up till you still I get feedback?
Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, I hear it. Peter, you have to mute the sound in the background. We have a caller. Hold on. I think it's gone now. Go ahead, Carl. Go ahead and make your final point because we're going to close.
Hold on.
Yeah, man.
All right.
I get it.
You still hear the echo? Are you good?
Yeah, man. Go ahead now. Just hold on a sec because I have the Reverend.
Yeah, man.
I know Carlington.
Yeah, man.
Hold on. Carlington was going to say something. Just go ahead. Take a minute, Carlington.
I was going to say to you that we know that we're looking for enough talent players. So up till now we can't find like a player from nowhere as a Jamaican player where we can find a good CDM.
Yeah. By the Gold Cup, that will be resolved.
Okay.
Yeah, that will be resolved. It may not be resolved for the Mexico game, but by the Gold Cup, we should have high quality options, at least 3 in that position to select from. Yeah. All right, Rev, what say you? And then I'll go to
Peter. Man, good afternoon, man.
Yeah, man.
The panelists. I want to commend you. You're doing a wonderful job. I am actually a Clarendon and moving to live in Senton. One of them retire resident where you know really see nobody walk past. Everybody lock up. And I'm giving thanks for the program.
Maybe you're coming over my community, But we'll talk.
Yeah, but I'm giving thanks for the program. But going on, one of the things, I'm a football fan. Football, the sports make my ball like baby. And so when we discuss sports, and I saw you do it, so I'm not talking about it. And so we have to know that even though we are Jamaica and we care about our side, but also we have to analyze, we have to look on the side that we're playing. I don't like Argentina one bit. France, my side. When France in the final, actually go and I look on every player on Argentina side. The club them play, how much goal they score, the defense, midfield. That's how I get to know Argentina side. And then I know that the final is going to be really comparing the France. That's where I see that there is not a big difference. So you come to Trinidad when there's cataracts at 7. That's when I do my research and I look on Trinidad side and I'm saying, no, we're our local, most base local player would get Trinidad 7. So I'm just saying, sometimes we have to, because not everybody know football like we. And sometimes it bring pressure even the fans. I want to go out for watch a match because they say, oh, Trinidad are that side and Jamaica no beat Trinidad, I not go a match. When really and true, Trinidad is not such a bad side.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They
are
a good side. All right. But I have Peter online, so just hold your thought and then I'll take Peter's comment and then we'll, Go ahead, Peter. You have been holding for a while.
Yeah, man, no problem. Greeting again to your callers your panelists and your viewers, right? And to you. Yeah. I've been trying to watch a little of the Premier League since it's been televised,
Yes.
sometimes on Monday night. And, correct me if I'm wrong, because you're closer to the action than I am. Richard King, has he been playing CDM for Cavaliers?
I think only 2 games. What happened? He was red carded in the Arnett Gardens game, and then Cavaliers played 2 players at centre back. And so when he came back into the team, the coach did not drop the players. He just played him in CDM, and then he continued that
Yeah.
for the. So he has played 2 games at CDM this season.
Hey, Martin Batts, right? From Constant Spring?
Yeah, man, I know Bats.
Yeah, I played with him,
Where Meadowbrook?
At NCB when
Okay.
we played in Interbank. And
Okay.
he broke his nose. He
Right.
broke his nose in a game one time. Go up for a header. He was playing centre half because that's what he usually normally play. Went up for a header and broke his nose. He is such a stalwart that in the team, he was so valuable to the team that because of his broken nose, when he came back after the injury to play, he still could not head the ball. So we put him in a CDM role. And my God, what a difference, brethren. And I've seen that more and more. But also Damian Lowe, when he played CDM. But first of all, before we move on, Richard King, you said he played 2 games. How did he look at the CDM role?
I mean, he was okay. I don't think he was any standout in that position. Ordinary to me in that position.
Ordinary.
I think he's a better centre back than CDM. I did say a player can get away with that at the club level. But when you're going up against some play, when you're going up against Tyler Adams and Weston McKinney, it's a different ball game. It's a different at the international level. You're going up against the best players for the nations. That's a different level to me. And I'm not saying that it's not possible. I think they would need a lot more, even low. I think you'd need a lot more experience, body positioning, how to turn. I watched like Thomas Partey yesterday for Arsenal, and 2 players, one on the right, one on the left, and he was able to hold that ball, cut it in between both of them, bam, and make a pass that Arsenal could start the attack and score a goal. I don't see that kind of vision from the players that we have played there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
even when Lowe played in Serbia, how you rate that performance? You didn't think he did?
No, because again, listen, like I don't think there was anything special in a practice game to say, yo, definitely. Like, because, and here's how I see it. I'm not looking for stopgap. I'm looking at what level we need to have a player at. So when we have a Leon Bailey who can turn a game around in his position, a Mikel Antonio, a Ethan Pinnock, these guys can change the game in their position. Andre Blake in goal can change the game. I'm asking this question. Could these centre backs who come and play CDM change the game that significantly for us, or are we just trying to find a stopgap measure?
So you based on your argument, you don't think it's a overhyped position. You don't think the team can play without a out and out specialist CDM. You don't think we can do that?
I think, all right, so let me put it this way. I have seen Busquets, even at his old age, because you have different kind of CDMs, You have CDMs like N'Golo Kante, who is a ball-winning CDM. You have Thomas Partey, who is not necessarily a ball-winning CDM, but one who can break defensive line and dribble through the midfield and make passes. Now, I think like if like a Ravel Morrison has a couple of hard workers around him, I think he's good enough to play there. No, he's not your traditional CDM, but I think he's good enough technically to take those balls from off the defense and break the lines.
And he has been doing that. He has been doing that. Not necessarily in this last game because I couldn't see it well, but previous games he has been playing deep and to me doing a fairly good job. I just think sometimes we overhype that position as far as Jamaica is concerned. And I could be wrong. That's why I say, you're a learned scholar more than me because when we play the game, I mean, I'm not that old still. Me and Bats are around the same age.
Yeah.
But I know the game has evolved, man, and I know things are more technical now than it was before.
Yeah.
But I still just feel like
I'm gonna give you an example.
we
All right.
overhype it.
I'm gonna give you an example. So, maybe this could work if there were proper development. So, like for me, right, I was a very speedy player that used both feet. So, oftentimes I get used like as a utility player. I play left back, right back, center forward, mid, everywhere. All right.
Right.
But when I started out, I started out playing as a wing forward because I was very fast, could cut inside, kick off the left, cut inside, kick off the right. All right.
Yeah.
But as I remember, like the first time we were doing like in the Costa Cup team, I mean, I was going up against players like Anthony Fogarty, Ian Zrodkar, Sakati. These guys were like monster. You had the Ricketts at Cornwall College. These guys were big compared to me. So the older I got, is the more I realized that just physically, what it would take for me to do well in that position, I probably would not have it, though I was technically good.
Yeah.
And so my coaches started playing me deeper. So I started playing at right back where I could still use my speed and still use, the technical abilities. The point I'm making is that sometimes a player's strengths are best served in their present position. For example, like Damian Lowe, I think his aggressive play, his need to win the ball is important more so at centre back than in midfield. Because in midfield, in that CDM role, I think it requires a little bit more charisma. Delaying the play, finesse. There you go. Like those kind of things, right? To have that quick, sharp turn on the ball, to go and pick up the ball from, like I said, your centre back, to receive the ball from your right back and make. For me, I think I don't see that in him or in King right now.
Well, the reason why I was saying that too, man, is because I believe we are blessed with a wealth of centre halves, when you think about it. Because you have Ethan Pinnock, you have Lowe, you have King, you have Luke Badley Morgan. I mean, yeah, he's a youngster. You have some of the names are slipping right now. Lottie Bodier, right?
Yes.
And I'm sure there are others who I can't even think of. I believe we have a wealth of centre halves, And I believe we can probably mold one of them, even this youth Badley Morgan, probably could have molded him in a central role like that. If we think it's that important. But you like I said, you know more than me about the ball.
But I'll give you a good example. I saw Everton in the game against Arsenal. They brought on Mason Holgate to play midfield, and he looked lost to play CDM.
Right.
And he looked lost.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm saying that it could work, but maybe it would need more time. Probably 10, 20 games. There you go. Yeah.
Right, with time. Yeah. I don't, but so back to my original question, you don't think it's overhyped? You don't think we hype it up too much? I mean, we Jamaica.
No, because personally,
Cataract hype it up in a budget.
Yeah.
Because of personal reason, hype it up.
No, personally, I believe that the teams that generally do well have good CDMs. And all right, so I have a friend from Mexico. He said their captain, the one who plays for Atletico Madrid, he said that the older he has gotten is the worse Mexico team has looked because they have never been able to fix their CDM issues.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
But then the team, I look good on the Paul Hall. Though. Paul Hall really wasn't using a traditional team. But again, I guess it's just my opinion. And like I say, man,
Let's see. Let's see. Maybe the coach will probably try what you're saying and it may work. You can never tell. It's a game of football. All right?
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
sir.
man.
I appreciate your insight.
Yeah, man. Bless
Give
up.
thanks.
Respect that. All
Yeah,
right.
man.
For the person, yeah, man. For the person who's asking for Cataract, he just reached out to me. He's having some session. He's playing out there in Spanish Town. He says, all right. He says playing in Spanish Town, meaning I them have a dance. I didn't know them have dance at daytime, so he's not able to be on the show right now.
Corporate booking mannings, man. Corporate bookings.
Oh. All right. We have Rev. What to say you because you're about to Demo J.
Yeah, I am.
What is the square root of 49?
Are you asking me that, boy?
That's what you have right there, the square root of 49. Of course, I'm asking you.
No. First of all, good afternoon. Man, I just want to make a quick question before we make the others go. I never plan to stay long. Just a question I had. All right. So first of all, good afternoon to everybody. Everybody in the comment section. I think everybody knows the square root of 49. If you don't, you can get the calculator. You figure it.
Brother, I have maths in a CXC, you know.
Liverpool versus Manchester.
Yeah, but the question I had, Mannings, man. Just because me the in and out, me da hear the CDM queries and stuff. And by the way, big up all your work here though. Me get to see the game and thing. Even though me there go, me call it my cricket award. I was able to watch the game same way and thing.
What
So
tell us about that, Demo? What did you get the award for?
well, it was the New York Cricket Award ceremony, and I received a trophy for 5 wickets for 13 runs in the league. So they give away trophies so who get 5 wicket hauls, and mine was for 5 for 13 in an excellent spell of bowling. But anyway, that's besides the point. The point
Is that the blind cricket competition in New York?
Man, they have tried to mistake for this longer than now. I tell you, say Steve Butner can tell you about me, no boss. Don't make it seem like me just start cricket in a boss. Anyway, so the stadium queries, seen. And as a Liverpool man, obviously you know, so I got ask about Kevin Stewart because he came in to play after he recovered from injuries. I think I don't remember what game it was, and I mean he didn't have the best game and whatever.
Yeah,
but
he
after
came in
that,
the World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah.
It was a game that he made an error in that game. It was
Yeah,
a
man,
game that I think
he never have the best game, so I can't admit that. But my question to you is, what about him? Like, is he done? Like, him not gonna come back? Because
No, I
maybe
think
people are questioning CDM. He's our CDM.
yeah, if he's but there, like I did say no Demo, there's a couple of quality CDM that are on the radar. A couple are getting the necessary or the requisite documentation. So by the
Yeah.
Gold Cup, we should see, yeah.
Yeah, but my question is specifically to him, you know. I know you mentioned others, but me talk with
Yeah,
him
but I
personally.
think once he is fit, he will be
Okay.
around.
Okay,
The
okay.
can he stay fit?
All right, boss. That's the question I had. So big up yourself. I'm going to leave. And the only disappointment in my cricket award was the fact that I can see 13 runs. So keep that in your mind, all right?
All right. I mean, all the best. When tomorrow or Wednesday?
Real Madrid?
Yeah.
Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, I really hope you can rebound, sir.
I mean, with Liverpool, anything is possible. We go from dropping 7 to losing 1-0 to the last place team. So it is what it is.
All right, then. Cool. Yeah, man. All right, Demo, respect. All right, Brooke, you were going to say something, and then I'll have words come in, and then we're going to close out the show. Yeah, man.
All right. Remember, me put this in the comment section a while ago, but I got asked it on here. You remember a couple months ago when Granty say, yo, and did you want to put on a clinic for the CDM, the local CDM them?
Yes.
Why is alright? What have a problem with CDMs? Why aren't the JFF exploring that option? Because this is a top top CDM. This man learned from Makalele, one of the best CDMs ever. Why aren't we exploiting his wealth of knowledge to impart on the man them what they down here? I think
All right.
it's a good idea, you know?
Number one. Number
But then
one.
again.
Number one, there may have been other players who have played for Jamaica who probably believe that they are way ahead of him in that position, who they could use. I don't know. Number two, it is something that the coach would have to decide.
No, it's not about bringing him into the national team, you know, to conduct clinics with
Yeah, but
local players.
I don't think that the JFF have to do that. If I listen, Walter Boyd can have clinics, you know, and invite players to it, you know.
Yeah.
So if Anthony
Alright.
Grant, according to you, if Anthony Grant says, listen, I want to help CDMs in Jamaica, he doesn't necessarily have to do it through the JFF. He can just come and say, I'm hosting a clinic at Waterhouse or at Arnett Gardens, and players who play the CDM position, they can come out and try out or learn. Or you understand me? He could coordinate and collaborate with Cataract and put on some of those things.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
It
but
would be good. It would be good. It would be good if.
bro.
Listen, listen. What I'm saying is that it would be
No,
good
that's a
if the
true, see,
JFF
but
got involved. But I want this to be
wouldn't you
separate.
think it would be better? It would be, yeah.
Huh? Hello? Rev, look like we have lost Brook.
Okay, man. The match tomorrow, yeah. Talking about giving out some tickets. I want to go to the match, but I don't plan to drive to Kingston alone. So I want some guys to come with me, but the ticket I actually paying for one.
So you want a couple of tickets?
Yeah, man.
Like you want to win 2 tickets for the game?
Yeah, man, because I have some people coming with me. So.
All right. Give me the starting 4 players for the Jamaica team in the game in defense for the Jamaica team against Trinidad and Tobago. If you answer that, you get 2 tickets. Easy.
So that, no, we have Hutchinson.
No, man, the defense, you know.
Oh, the defense.
The 4 defenders who started.
That is a hard question for me.
Yeah.
I am not.
All right. You want to say that hard? All right. Give me 5
I'm
other
not
persons
familiar.
that started for Jamaica Just give me any 5 person that started in the game.
All right. So that's Hutchinson. Hutchinson and the Whisper the start. I am not really know most of these Jamaica playing.
Is that too hard? All right. We'll ask you an easier question. All right. A too easy question I ask you already. You have to get the one. 3 strikes and you're out, you know.
You're hearing the man?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you. So let me ask you an easier question. Where was the game played and what time did the game start?
I was in Montego Bay catching 6 p.m.
All right. So afterwards, you see the 373. And who sponsored the Jamaica team? What is the sponsor of the jersey that they wear?
Adidas.
All right, big up yourself. You know a lot of things. All right, so you see the 373 number. Just hang up, text that number, and I will shout you so you can get the ticket.
All right.
All right. Yeah, man. Blessed caller.
All right, blessed, man.
Yeah, man. Cool. All right, so we make it easy. So, Chris. All right, we're going to close the show now. We have 5 minutes to go. We're going to close. Chris, I did say the things. Let me go through them again. Here's the 10 things. Looking What were the objectives? We lost the game, but some of the objectives were accomplished. Somebody said, give him half the tickets, man. No, man, we're gonna give him the ticket. We're gonna give him the 2 tickets. All right. So number 1, it was important because the coach had the opportunity, like he said, to look at as many players as possible over the next 4 games. The second thing was the why, because he wants to select the best possible squad for Jamaica so that we can win the Gold Cup, because he really believes so. 3, he was giving players from the diaspora an opportunity to represent Jamaica. That way they could be, they have a cap for Jamaica, and now it is less likely for them to choose to play for anywhere else. 4, the development of local talent, because he has been having them in camps. 5, he was rebuilding. It was used as a means of rebuilding the fan base, both the urban and the rural fan base, as well as the international fan base, which was, because the coach and the Gensec spoke about recreating the 1998 fan culture. That's 5. 6, it was creating and testing out the systems of management for the team as they play games, the transportation, the administrative functions, the player accommodation and preparation, getting tickets and all of that, the coaching staff, what are the things in place and all of that. At least they're having a couple of test runs so that when the real deal takes place, right, Jamaica will have a better output than they did in the campaign. Number 7, we also spoke about this was now playing games so that sponsors should come on board. Number 9, number 8 was the marketing of the team, and right, and then you had just the fact that there's a Nations League game that we need to prepare for, and Trinidad is also preparing for that, so it served that dual function. So at the end of the day, though we lost the game, the overall objective of playing the game was accomplished. So Chris, we did actually go through them. And people, top striker said the caller is in New York. No, the caller is in Jamaica. Let me say this, people. I don't know, I wasn't following some of the conversation, but Dre said that there was some bad man thing going on in the conversation. I hope you guys are just doing this in jest, because you can't be serious, man. Come on. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. It's opinion, people. It's opinion. It's opinion. It's opinion. It's opinion. It's opinion. And I'm not going to highlight the comments that are divisive, because the fan base needs to change. The fan base needs to change. The fan base needs to change. We need to not go back to the toxic ways of 2022. Yeah, man, I'll give him 2 tickets, try. Sir Pepsi, Pepsi the legend, the people them need to hear from you, Oh, camper down teacher, When the people them going to hear from you, big up yourself. Right? So please, you understand me? We must not go back to the crazy behaviors and attitudes we had in 2022. We must move away from that. And I am doing my part, right? The vloggers are doing their part. You realize that the vloggers are working together, right? And so I encourage you, the fans, to do your part as well. Let us work together instead of fighting against each other. All right? Listen, I want to thank you. I want to thank you all for coming on. Fresh God, how the likes are. Listen, if you have not yet subscribed, please ensure that you subscribe to the platform. We have we need to get up to 200 likes if possible. So if you have not yet hit the like button, go ahead and do that. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. We should be having something very interesting later. I have some stuff to do because we have to try and prepare, because we're going to be over there in Florida, right? But right now, we're going to run out of here. Elite Sports, why you say I go on, You leave out part of the statement there. Yeah, oh. Alright. Elite Sport. Everything work out so your people got the stuff because you don't link me and tell me if the people them got the stuff. They called the man and picked up the stuff because he was there with them, you know. So big up, bless up people, enjoy the rest of the day. I am Manningsman, and as usual, you know when it gets to this point of the show, it's when we're going to close. We say thank you, and we say we are over, and we are O-U-T out of here.